What'd you think of the name of the chapter? I just came up with that one.
Dude, that was such a cool open. Can we just play that over and over and over and over for the
That's
next
what that's what
hour?
I did. I've been doing that actually.
It's
I've been
so
doing
good.
that
That's such a
myself.
great theme.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I
Yeah,
do. I
Bravo.
well
totally
done.
agree. I totally agree. It was
Yeah.
it's very John Carpenter-esque. Maybe a little bit of Vangelis. The one thing
Hmm.
I know about Stranger Things is their soundtrack. I've been listening to it.
Oh my
It's
God.
like a combination of Giorgio Moroder, Vangelis, and John Carpenter.
Yeah, I
Those
would
three.
agree entirely. I would agree.
I can't think of any. And of course, pop music from that era.
Hmm.
I'll be honest. I did try to listen to Katie Bush because Katie Bush was trending
Katie.
because of season
Kate,
4, and it's
Kate
not my thing.
Bush. Well, I'll tell you what. I used to hook up with chicks in high school and college, and that was the thing, Brian. So let's just say that. So
Okay.
it was a moment in time, but I do love
Kate
Kate
Bush
Bush. I really
from
do.
the UK as well. Wow, she was beautiful.
Yeah.
She was famous
Oh,
for
yeah.
her top of the pops appearances in like
Mhm.
very revealing
Oh,
clothes.
I remember.
Woo.
I remember. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. What we got
What
in
are we
chat.
talking about? I'm just thinking
Sorry about
about
that,
I-
guys. Derailed.
It's okay.
I'm just hanging out with. Yeah.
So once again, everybody, welcome to another Nerdporial chat. We're talking about spoilers for Stranger Things season 4. With me, I have, returning Salty Texas C. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, everybody! It's great to be here. I've been looking forward to doing a spoiler review. We didn't spoil it on my show on Tuesday, so thanks for having me.
No problem. And Steve came back too for me.
Hey, whenever. Yeah. There's a void in my schedule. There's no Better Call Saul, so I got to, it's this and work, So of course I'm back. Anytime you need me, I'll be here. Especially for Stranger Things. I haven't talked to any spoilers or theories or anything yet. So
Yeah.
I've just anything I've done. I was on Grace's channel doing the same thing, just talking how good it was. So it'll be nice to
Love
actually,
that stream. I
yeah.
love that
So
stream. You guys
it
did.
was fun. So it's fun talking about it, and it's going to be nice to hear what some of the theories from chat. You guys, I love the theories. Whether it's Better Call Saul, Wheel of Time, this
Yeah.
theory crafting is I love it. So it's one of those. Looking forward to getting dug in here.
And it was live from Japan. We got Gray himself from the tea house, straight from the tea house, Wakizashi's tea house. How you doing, Gray?
I'm good, thank you. I'm Genki this morning. I'm enjoying a nice cup of coffee. I've been running up that hill to get on this stream. Love the Kate Bush references. I'm looking forward to talking about something fantastic, which we did, the last time with Steve and Salty and Nerdporio. Thanks for joining that in the chat. It was awesome. It's so nice and refreshing just to nerdgasm and gush, isn't it, about something
Been
good.
a long time.
Yeah.
It has been a long time, really. And it's weird. And what's weird is, like on the Tuesday show, not to make this about me, but Gray was there too. It was not everybody loved the show. Not everybody in my chat was saying they liked it, and some people were being very critical of it. And we're all allowed to have different opinions. I'm not going to shame you unless you like Disney Star Wars. But in this case, and where I'm going with this is Gray said it. If you find fault with Stranger Things, have you tried to watch Kenobi? And it's true. It's just what I found about Stranger Things is I have not let all of this dog crap stuff that's come out. What was that? What did I miss?
Oh, Nosferatu.
Oh,
Nosferatu.
Shout out to Nosferatu in the chat.
There's no way
Crazy
Nerdporial
brother.
got international sex symbol.
Keep
Gray
it up
on his
all
show.
night long. Nosferatu, rate them. No, but the whole thing is like, how do we keep our sense of taste? Because they're trying to erode what good is, like in all of our genres, right? And it's like, honest
Yeah.
to God, I did, and you guys tell me if you did this too. I had to do a reality check and say, have I just been dumbed down or corrupted by all the crap that's been shoveled on us for years? Or is this legitimately a good show? And I came to the place where, for me, this was the first thing I've been excited about in years.
Well,
Legitimately.
I think for me, I just stopped caring what other people have to say.
Well,
Just-
there's that too.
It's one of
Yeah.
those, just like, I heard a lot of, yeah, I guess there was something. I mean, I guess it was a week or so ago when it first came out. People, talking bad about it, saying it wasn't as good as yada yada yada. And then all of a sudden here, the tide seems to have been changing, and everybody's sort of warming up to it. It's sort of weird. So, I go with my initial gut reaction, whether I enjoy it or not, and if people agree with me, fantastic. If not, I know what I like, right? I mean,
exactly.
so, and Obi-Wan is not it.
Nope.
I don't know how anybody likes that, but I don't know. It's one of those, if Stranger Things is not your thing, then fine, great.
Yeah.
I mean,
more power to you.
I'm gonna say this: Stranger Things. If you like period pieces, if you like the '80s, if you like '80s horror, if you like '80s science fiction, if you like coming of age dramas, if you like teenage dramas, John Hughes stuff, it's got all of that.
Well,
it does.
It appeals to a whole wide array of people.
There are story arcs.
And there's story arcs, yes.
I mean,
and there's character development that is built off of the past 3 seasons.
Yes,
it wasn't like, oh, we totally just decided to create a different continuum where the characters are now completely different and everybody's gay. No, this is actually an extension of what they've built for the last 3 seasons.
Well, look at the DC comics.
It sounds like New Trek.
Well, I mean,
even like car mainly.
Well, and it's like even we were talking about the other one of the streams. I don't know which one. It doesn't matter. All of us, I think, could see a Stranger Things where Will is gay, and that's fine because
that's what we want to talk about. I want to talk about that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm there. I mean, fine. If he's awkward enough. He's had enough things. He has this thing with Mike.
The Duffers.
He's not gay though. But what if he just has PTSD because his ass was kidnapped for 3 freaking seasons and taken to some other freaking dimension? Don't you think the kid's brain's a little scrambled and he's not thinking about boobs? I mean, like maybe that could be.
That's one thing.
It's one of those, I don't think it would be that far fetched. I mean, that's all. I mean, one way or the other, I'm fine. I mean, it's one of those. It's not. He's messed up, and and maybe he's just messed in the head. And so he's trying to grasp onto those friendships really, really hard, and it has nothing to do with him being gay. That's fine too.
And at the end of the day, go ahead, nerd.
There's like they're hinting at now. The Duffers said that they're the last 2 episodes of this season are going to address that, but they're basically. Setting up, it seems like Will is. I don't know if I don't know if he's in love with Mike, but he feels very close to Mike, and like because he's painting that thing in the very beginning.
Yeah, I kind of figured
we're starting with the California arc, so
him and Mike nude.
What is that painting he's doing? Because I can't
probably
remember that.
Mike. I mean, it's.
I'm hoping it's just all of them.
I think it's a fantasy. I think it's a nerdy painting.
I hope so.
I hope it's just.
I'm hoping it's just them all as their D&D characters, and that's it.
That's what that's all I want to. That would be the most beautiful thing ever. I mean, and here's the thing. Go ahead. No, it's all you.
All right, my hope is just that it's them, but all of them now. So he's added Max, and he's added 11, and he's added Steve, and the whole gang is sort of there as new characters, right? They're part of they're part of the the party. They're now the whole party in a picture. That's what I hope it is. I mean, it's a little corny, but so what? I like corny sometimes if it works.
No, but it makes absolute sense. It really does. And what I wanted to say, and the credit goes to Zach's on the Tuesday show. He said this: why should we care about the sexuality of children in a show about monsters? And it was it was in Variety magazine. And of course, they're shilling for Disney because Disney advertises them, and according to my opinion, that they get people buy positive reviews all the time. Let's be honest about it. In my opinion, but the whole thing with the Vanity, not the Vanity Fair, the Variety article was talking about who's gay in Stranger Things season 4. It's on the front page of Variety magazine.
Who cares?
Nobody cares.
Nobody
cares.
If it serves the story, great. But
other than that, serves the story,
they're fictional characters. Who cares? So
and their kids.
I mean, the
kids. I mean,
if Will's gay and it serves the story, and hopefully we'll see a beautiful scene from that, then do it. But once again, the actor himself. What's his name? Noah Schnapp. He's only 17. He's a kid. He's not even an adult yet.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
So
Still a kid.
I think it's much more interesting is what Salty touched on would be him. I mean, he seems remarkably well balanced for all the crap. I mean, the horrific things he's dealt with.
Yes,
I mean,
he
more
was
so than
possessed.
I mean,
He
he's
was
dealt with
possessed.
Max is dealing with all this PTSD from Billy. Will being as level headed and okay as he is after being kidnapped, then being possessed by the freaking mind flayer, and he's okay. It's like okay. I mean, that's the one I think probably the only one of the only knocks I have is I would have liked to see. I guess Will is sort of screwed up. That's watch my language.
Will is secretly a monster. That's why he's so well balanced and
That-
disinterested.
that would be
That would be cool. That we
Yeah.
could imagine the cliffhanger you could have.
Maybe the mind flayer never
You know?
fully. Maybe the
That's
mind
what I
flayer
mean.
never fully left Will.
Yeah,
Probably.
Maybe there's a
Probably.
haven't seen
remnant.
the
And-
mind flare. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a question I got for y'all. Is but we'll get to that later.
Well,
Have you,
the other
um,
thing is, go ahead.
Have you
Greg.
guys ever played the role-playing game Call of Cthulhu? Okay, not D&D, but Call of Cthulhu. With that game, it's a Lovecraftian-based horror role-playing game, but you have to make a sanity roll. You got to roll for your sanity when you see these kind of crazy creatures, these Lovecraftian horrors. So it's amazing, as you say, that Will is still kind of, mentally in one piece. It's unbelievable. I don't care about his sexuality, by the way. It doesn't bother me at all.
No,
Either way, yeah.
Can't say me.
Yeah, and I am. I want that more than anything in the world. Not that I want Will to suffer as a character, because I think the kid's been through enough. But imagine if we get to the end, the penultimate episode, when our gang of goodies are beating the big bad in this, which is truly a horrifying big bad. Let's be honest about it. And then when the big bad knows he's losing, he activates Will, because who else has had so much trauma? You know what I mean? And then they have to decide whether or not they're going to take Will out or not. And it's like, that's how I want this season to end.
This season or the final season?
Sorry, this season. Like I want it
Okay.
to end on a cliffhanger, like The Empire Strikes Back.
Me too.
Like a
Do
dark
you-
It
my
would
question
be
is,
heartbreaking, but I mean, yeah, that's.
My-
I mean,
My question is, do you think Vecna will survive into the next season?
well, it depends. Do we think that? I guess I'll bring up my question for you guys now. Do we think the Mind Flayer is the one in charge, or is it Vecna that's in charge? Everybody
Mind
seems.
Flayer is the one in charge. Vecna
Do we still
is,
think that?
They say that they. Well, I mean,
They say it. They don't
Dustin,
know it.
Well, yeah, but every time Dustin says something, it ends up being true. So, and plus, Dustin's my favorite character. So
Well,
why should I doubt Dustin?
We haven't seen the
Dusty
Mind
Buns.
Flayer. We haven't seen the Mind Flayer at all.
Dustin's
We
awesome.
will. Did you
But-
see the trailer for Volume 2?
I
No.
haven't yet. So.
No.
Can we
The
watch
Mind
it?
Flayer
Can we
is
watch it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have.
Mind
I-
Flayer
maybe
is
I have, I don't know.
the Mind Flayer's in Russia. Believe it or not.
Well, that.
Well,
makes
there is
sense.
something. Is it the Mind Flayer or is it the only Mind Flayer? Because that's been my question. You know,
Well, it's
is
some of
there
the
only
particles.
one? You know,
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, but it's the same particles. Those stormy looking particles. Like
Yeah.
they have it contained. At least I think it's in Russia because it's Hopper that sees it.
yeah, just like
behind.
Chernobyl, they got it
Yeah.
under control over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what Will's
exactly.
painting. He's actually painting the
Or
Mind Flayer.
Fukushima,
When,
just to
when he
throw
opens
a-
it, it's going to let it out.
Oh, Mind Flayer.
Jesus, Salty, that went dark.
Dude,
fast.
I'm going dark, man. It's season 4 of Stranger Things, man. Let the beast is loose. You know.
So, Nerporio, you were saying you've rewatched season 4, yeah, since you saw it the first time,
did.
twice.
I did.
How
I
was it?
watched
Second time.
Just as good. Just as
I've
good.
rewatched it too. It's good.
I loved. Oh my gosh, when they go into the now, I don't think they went into the Upside Down at all last season, but when they went into the Upside Down this season with the demo bats,
That was
holy crap! This felt
crazy.
I felt like I was.
Oh.
Holy crap! This is awesome.
I know. There were so many episodes this season when I was on the edge of my seat.
Oh, we're gonna
So
lose.
many, legitimately on the edge of my seat.
I thought we were going to lose
The
Harrington
house
so
with
many
the-
times. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
too.
no.
Yeah,
But that-
Steve.
But the part with the gun, or the part with the soldiers attacking the house in California, and they
That
had
blew my mind.
but the way they shot it, it felt like you were running with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
way they
no,
shot
it
it.
was perfect. It was perfect.
It was
Because
brilliant.
they're like holding on to him, and they're like right behind him, and then they're like
That's
But
one of the best
that's-
action scenes I've seen in TV or movies in a
years.
while, wasn't it?
In
It was
years.
so thrilling.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah,
did
I
not
just
see
watched that scene
coming.
again. It's really good.
I thought one of the kids was going to get shot. I really
Yeah,
thought
me too.
that's where they were going to go. I really did. And I have a moth. I had a cricket last night and I have a moth. What the hell? Am I in the upside down? What the hell's going on?
Because
in
you're
my
so
office?
bright, Salty, you're attracting them like a
Does
light.
anybody
that's what-
feel like they're setting up Jonathan for an exit of some sort?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
him and Nancy and Steve seem to be rekindling what's over going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan's doing his own thing in California. I feel like they're sort of setting him up to be able to be shoot away.
Oh, there's Zax. Hey,
hey,
Zax. You want to come in and talk about Stranger Things?
Yeah, he could something like if he wants to.
Yeah. Because he's seen it. And he loves it.
Okay, then definitely have him on.
Yeah.
We got Channel 66 is here too. What's up?
Hail, Channel
right.
66.
Hey.
And can I just say to Nosferatu the vampire, you are entertaining us so much. Thank you so much for being here. Your comments are absolutely being read. It's just great to see people jump channels and follow people. So thanks for being here. This is awesome.
That's right. It was hilarious.
Totally
He's always salty with the
Absolutely.
comments. He's
I
got a
love
great
it.
sense of humor.
I love it. I had a rough day, and it's great to see somebody being snarky AF in
The
the
only
chat.
thing people's sexuality upsets me is when they're straight. My tiny fist clenching you fury when I think of it.
He's being sarcastic, ladies and gentlemen. Well, maybe,
not.
maybe he is.
no, he's
Yeah.
not.
Oh, Jesus.
I know you referenced. Okay, so Nosferatu says to me, I know you referenced a certain dark aspect of Doctor
yes.
Strange.
Yes,
Did
yes.
you hear what happened to? Oh, I did.
Zara Pythian.
Oh,
or
I
Pythian.
did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And another Disney employee. There were a bunch of them that got busted for something. Like 20 of them on a page. That story disappeared too. Really
Underage
quickly.
child abuse, and they've just gone to
Yeah.
prison for it.
It's
Oh,
almost as if there were some grand conspiracy where there's a lot of evil people in the world that are into that kind of thing, and the way that they get clout is by doing it. But I don't know. Maybe that's a horror movie I'm confusing with
I have
something
those-
called reality. You know?
Yeah, there's having children, I have no fright.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even.
Yeah, I got something right there for that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Just say that.
I'll borrow
So,
it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Got it covered. No problem. Shovel too. Got shovel too. So yeah.
kids, leave the kids alone, man. Like
Jesus,
whatever.
Nosferatu, look where you've taken us. Anyway,
Yeah,
back
no,
to
we're-
back
yeah.
to Stranger
Hey,
Things.
Hey,
Season
it-
four.
it's-
Doctor
It's turning into
Stranger
apocalypse
Things.
now. I'm like
What
Colonel
happened?
Kurtz. Like Colonel Kurtz, I'm going the horror. Yeah.
We do see children in peril, by the way, in Stranger Things
Yes.
season 4. And did you
Many.
notice they had to put up a warning before it
Yeah.
started with the very first scenes from episode 1,
Yeah.
season 4?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
teenage. I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, they are children, but they're. I mean, I consider children teenagers, like especially on screen different.
Teenagers in the 80s is very different than teenagers now. And,
These guys
and-
fight back. This is what's
I mean,
good
we
about
did.
it.
In the 80s, teenagers were 30 years old. 30.
We used to
Well,
fight
we
back,
were.
didn't we? Yeah.
Well, the
No,
actors-
when you were 12, you were expected to take care of your newborn sister and your 2-year-old brother while your parents were gone for the night.
Yeah.
It's a real
brother did
thing
me. Yeah.
because that's what you needed to be responsible, and you had a paper route, and there were nothing about fifis. There were no safe spaces. You got beat with a belt, and
Yeah, man.
and you got good grades, or you had things taken away. You know,
What about salt in the mouth?
consequences.
Was that a thing, or was that only in the 40s?
No, I got that.
I've always
When
heard,
Salty was young.
I've always heard about people putting soap in your mouths when I was a kid, but I never saw it until.
Oh, yeah.
the
My mom did that.
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is real.
He's in the 40s.
Nope. My mom caught my brother and I
Oh,
repeating
Jesus.
stuff we heard on a Richard Pryor album.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh no!
It reminds me of Monty Python sketches. You know, it's like, when I was a kid, me dad used to come home from work and kill us. And then, it's just like one of those.
That was
Classic.
close. That almost happened a couple times too, but maybe we deserved it. I don't know. You know, only the strong survive.
Zax is jacked, yeah, Nosferatu, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Salty knows
Yeah.
about that.
Whoa, no, I don't. Keep the fantasies to yourself. Jesus, can we talk about Stranger Things instead of your homoerotic fantasies?
What is
Wakazuchi's
happening?
Tea House. Good God, you have
Where-
Yes,
derailed
please. Yes,
this.
Okay. Anyway.
Derailed.
We took a sharp right
So-
where I don't know where we've ended up.
No, we took a sharp left. If we're honest about
Yeah, I
it.
guess that's true.
Can I ask Nerdporial? Nerdporial, what did you think of the music, the 80s tunes, the selection of music, as well as the soundtrack in this?
I mean, like I said, the soundtrack reminds me of course, the opening reminds me of John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And there's also hints of Vangelis.
Vangelis, Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
Tangerine Dream.
Even
Even
Mike
Giorgio
Oldfield.
Moroder.
Mike Oldfield with Tubular Bells, and an homage to
Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Thank you. Yep.
Tubular Bells. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was like I didn't even know that was what do you call it? Okay,
And
that's
we can't forget Kate Bush. Now
Kate
we should
Bush!
say spoilers for those people who have come in late. This will, of course, the fad that shouldn't be like dating soap. That explains a lot. Hail to that. But yeah, Kate Bush. That song. We are going to be doing spoilers. Really powerful. Really powerful moment. And I said it on Tuesday, but I didn't say the character's name. I thought they were going to let her get almost to the doorway and then kill her. That's
Episode
what I
4,
thought was
yeah.
gonna happen.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing though.
It's
That's
amazing.
what I thought.
Here's the thing. Now we have another character that's in that situation. Nancy's now.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy's now there. Now I'm worried about her.
I did
Because they
not
did not
see
re-
that coming.
I didn't see. Nobody did. Apparently,
You know?
there was a demo bat that was close, and that's how that's how it was known that they were going through, and that's when Vecna began his attack on her, and of course her trauma is Barb of all things.
Oh
So
God,
we're back in the pool. We see the dead Barb body, and I'm worried that I'm curious if she's gonna get it.
I wonder if she's going to be the one taken out, because I think Steve is at the top of that list, and I think maybe Nancy. Maybe they're going to take out Nancy.
Well, I think
Yeah.
they've baited us enough on Steve. I think Steve is probably going to make it, just because, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say at this point, right? I mean, Nancy. I mean, if Nancy goes, just think of all the repercussions. I mean, Steve's obviously going to
Exactly.
go berserk. Nathan's going to go berserk.
Mike,
Freaking Mike's gonna go freaking ballistic, and then her and Robin have been. I mean, I don't know. The repercussions of Nancy buying the farm could be for all the characters really substantial. So I don't know. I'm wondering. I mean, we still haven't seen that guitar solo by what's the new guy? Shoot, I always forget his name. Eddie.
Eddie.
I know that
From
was
Iron Maiden album covers.
Yeah, there was. I'm wondering if he's going to jump back in there and have a freaking raging freaking metal session in the Upside Down, just because I know that was part of the promo stuff, was him just jamming on his guitar in there. So that'd be sort of interesting, but I don't know.
Nosferatu, you're not a narcissist. You just
Guys,
think you are.
do you really think they will like kill a major character or
Yes.
in this season? You really think they're not going to let them go to the
I
last
am
season?
100% convinced. I am.
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen is that in the final, maybe the next episode or the one after, they're definitely going to kill one, and they might even take a bunch off the board that you don't know who died.
No.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I mean, I was like you. I didn't think Max was going to make it. Like,
No.
I thought it was the exact
No.
same thing as you. It was like she
No.
was going to be one of those. Oh, she's going to make it, and then crushed, right? So,
Yeah.
I know, because that's the way I would have wrote it.
Well,
Just to be a total dick.
I think because her
You know?
brother died, I think that's kind of why they let her live and stuff.
But
I know.
I'm with you guys. I think someone's going to.
I don't
I
like
think they're
seeing.
just-
I don't like
Go
seeing
ahead.
whole. Here's the thing. I don't like seeing whole families dying on TV. I mean, whole families dying is like something
Just
that you
some,
would see in
just
like
some of the
in,
families.
like Holocaust and stuff. It's messed
Yeah.
up, and it's
Yeah,
hard.
I know.
It's hard for most viewers. So, and I'm one of those people that just doesn't like to see that.
Mm.
So, in my opinion, so that's why I think that's why I think she was safe. But Nancy, I'm worried about her
don't know.
because of that. So.
You
I
know
don't
when they
know.
were flashing back the scenes when Max's brother Billy when he was killed in season 3.
Mhm.
I forgot how intense that was. That scene, when is it that the mind flayer or is that?
Yeah, that was the
creature.
mind
That
flare,
was-
and you know what's funny?
just
The way
through his chest.
Billy looked just like Billy had the same pose as Vecna. where he's got all those things connected
nice.
to him,
Hose
like
is
Dr.
coming out of him?
Octopus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Vecna's being controlled by the Mind Flayer.
Let me shout out Stephen Ransom, who's in the chat. Says, "Cheers, Wakazishi's Tea House. What an epic FNT. Hail Fellowship." I know. I still have to watch the second half of it. It's very, very true.
Oh yeah.
And Channel 66 says maybe the kid that was in Ghostbusters is going to die. That would be Noah Wolfstrom.
Yeah, Mike.
Right?
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, Finn
That would be
Wolfhard.
wild. Well, I tell you what, Dustin apparently is going off to do Broadway. So
Yeah.
could you, if they kill Dustin, forget.
I would riot. I
I
would
would
riot.
riot.
Dustin is my favorite. Dustin's my favorite character in that show.
He's brilliant.
Dustin
He's a
Henderson
great
is
actor.
Awesome. He's a great actor. He's like they've given. I think he's the creator's favorite too, because
I
they
agree.
give him his own. Like they have all the other kids doing one story, and then they give Dustin his own story. Ever since season 2, he was basically always separated from the others.
Well,
And ever
that's
since then, he's always
right.
been with Steve.
Yeah.
He's been
Well,
with
he's
Steve.
always,
He's been with Steve this season. He was with Steve last season. He was
Mhm.
with Steve the season before. And
Well, he's
Well,
the,
and
he's the
Steve complains
encyclopedia.
about it. Yeah,
I
and
know
Steve
that's what's
complains
fun-
about it all the
yeah,
time.
He's like
you
I'm
know?
a freaking babysitter. He's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah. But I liked how Dustin was giving him crap for all the stupid things he says. He's like, what was he? I forgot what he was asking. He was asking like he was like he didn't know like he didn't like know history or nerd.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Dustin was
yeah,
giving
yeah.
him crap for that. So
Well,
like,
it's like
seriously, do I have?
they're exchanging the car where they're going back and forth about wherever, and he goes, "I'm gonna knock your teeth out." It's like they just give us like too far, and then he's like, "Yeah, that was okay, you're right, my bad." And they give the fist bump. It's just like they're just their little exchanges. Steve and Dustin are just like, how can you get rid of that? You can't get rid of
Gold.
Dustin.
Just
I mean,
gold.
they're priceless.
You guys bear with me. We are going to go into spoilers here, and I am
Yeah.
going full screen on it. And I'm going to drop the volume not to blast anybody. Here we go. Oh, and I need to stop, and I need to actually turn the freaking volume up.
Yeah, this was awesome.
This gets me every time. Gets me every time. I don't think
Yeah.
you could have picked a more perfect song for this moment. And we talked about it in I'm vamping here, and you guys vamp too, so we make it transformative so you don't get hit. But this scene was one of the most powerful things I have seen in the entire 4 seasons of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Now, it is not a perfect show. I admit that, but it was a damn good one. And this scene in particular, I think we're going to be talking about for a while, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this again. I really, really wouldn't. So,
Yeah, no, they did just
Nancy
attention.
now has to escape. Nancy now has
Yeah.
to escape herself. So, or she won't. That's the scary thing. That's what I'm worried about.
yeah.
Well,
I
I mean,
agree.
that's what
They
the
left us. They literally left us hanging
Yeah,
on that.
next episode's
Yeah.
gonna start right there, so it's gonna be like, whoa, what's
Yeah.
gonna happen with Nancy?
Yeah.
I'm
going to take...
I just couldn't believe how long these episodes were. People are complaining about saying it's overstuffed. I'm like, shut up.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
what are you
come
going to do?
on.
Are you going to spend 35 minutes watching your circular stage of another goddamn Star Wars show on Tatooine? Like, how many times are you going to watch the same shitty show
Here's the
that
thing.
calls itself Star Wars?
Game
Seriously.
of Thrones season 8 had episodes about this length, but the problem with those episodes were people were just walking around, not saying
yeah.
anything or talking
Yeah.
stuff that doesn't, because there was no plot. They had
Nothing was
to talk
going
about.
on.
Yeah,
Nothing was
exactly.
going on, or you were horrified at what was happening, and you're just like, "Oh, please stop!" This you're just like I remember looking at it a few times, going, "How long is this episode?" And I'm like, "Oh, dang, it's only a half hour in. There's, I still got 45 minutes of."
I love it.
stuff
It
to
made
go
me
through.
so happy
Yeah.
because I'd be like, do I have time to go to the bathroom, make a sandwich? And it's like, no, I'm going to pause. I'm going to start a pizza. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna take a pizza, like, and dress it up.
Sorry, did you
And
just
then I'm
say
gonna
go to the
sit down.
bathroom and make a sandwich?
I said there was a period.
Why not?
There was a period in there. Like, imagine if I was a woman. Period. And there was a period in there, and then I'm going to make a pizza. I don't make pizzas in the bathroom. As creepy. Again, we're back on your homoerotic thing. Let me finish out the Kate Bush. Here we go.
I don't know who doesn't have bread and peanut butter in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought she was. I thought.
God.
Thought they
He's
were
so
gonna-
good,
I
man.
swear
this
to
was
God,
awesome.
I swear to God, if you have not seen season 4 of Stranger Things, I'm not trying to get people to leave your show, Nerdporial. What we're watching here, I mean, like, I there's no way I could have been leaning any farther on the edge of my sofa without falling on my ass. I mean, I literally was like, please don't, and
Yeah.
I was gripping my chair, gripping it like.
I was like, not her, not Sam, seriously. All right, we're
Yeah,
gonna go to the
Max.
undone it.
Max.
Yeah, sorry, Max. I keep thinking Sam.
I don't. Yeah.
Here we go. This is where I thought they were gonna get her right before she gets to the
Yeah,
door.
when
See,
the
right
black
here.
right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought it was it. Right
That's
there.
where I thought he was gonna get her when he looks at her. God,
I just love this
this
entire
just
scenario.
kills me, you guys. It's like
Spoiler warning, by the way. Spoiler warning, guys.
This is a
This is
spoiler
a spoiler
show.
stream.
Yeah.
So I loved how, like, because first I thought if they just played the music for her, she'd snap out of it, but it wasn't that simple, and that's
Nope.
what I loved about this. It opened a way out,
Yeah.
and but she still had to run to it. She had to break free of him and
Yeah.
run out, and that's
They
what
didn't
made
make it
this
easy.
powerful.
Yeah, it wasn't
No.
easy. She had to work
No.
for it. She,
No.
yeah.
No,
She had to
Well,
think about Lucas and what Lucas told her. It's like, you're not a ghost. I forget exactly what he says, but he's like, you're not a ghost. We care about you. He's like, we care about you. And
Well,
she
it's a-
thought
yeah.
about it, and that was how she
Well-
was able to snap out of it.
Well,
If
yeah,
she
all
didn't,
she was looking at all the, good, think about good memories. I mean, it was her at 11 and her just, everything good that's happened to her. You just think about things that make you happy, obviously, right? So they gave her the opportunity. She still had to do the work to save herself too. So, nice
Yeah.
team effort there, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
she ran
It was-
she ran better than Leia.
It
That they shouldn't be.
I know. I was going to say
Cheers, mate.
it's disorienting to see actually good writing, where
know.
you just expect the women to be overpowered and not have any problems, and to actually watch good writing where
And directing,
gender
sorry.
and
The
the message,
direction was amazing.
in the
Compared it against a
cinematography.
Kenobi. Direction is crap in Kenobi. It's rubbish. But in this, it was really good.
Yeah.
Is it true that Kenobi already met Darth Vader in episode 3 or some?
Yeah,
'cause I'm
and
not
he ran
watching
like
this
he
bullshit.
ran like Leia, like child Leia. He ran away. Kenobi ran from Vader 3 times, like this. It was hilarious. They've
I
made him
really-
a coward. They've
and
made him
then
a coward.
And then
I
the- and then-
really am glad I don't give Disney any money for anything.
and
Seriously.
the fire, it was just a fire that separated Kenobi and Vader just didn't do anything.
lets him go. Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
That totally makes sense.
Did you go from that scene of Max? We were watching Max fleeing for her life, and then you watch the Kenobi Vader first confrontation. Oh my God, there's no comparison. Stranger Things rules. I don't
Yeah,
care.
it
I've said
does.
it. It's really, really good. Season 4.
I agree.
I'll be honest. Like this time of this year and this time of this year, I've been bombarded by good television. First, it was Better Call Saul for me and Steve.
Yep.
And this, and now the Orville. The Orville
Yeah.
episode 1 was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Did you
I
already
can't
show?
wait-
Go ahead. Sorry.
And I can't wait to check to talk about the rest of them too.
Did you show that Stephen Ransom super chat where he says he loves seeing Joy again? Love Top Gun and Stranger Things. It's in chat. Stephen Ransom.
Super chat. What's it, super-
No, it's Stephen Ransom in chat.
Just laughing at Zach. Sorry.
Oh, right here.
There.
Love seeing the Joy again. Top Gun and Stranger Things. Top Gun was great too.
It is a weird sensation to have had a channel for a year and a half and never really get excited about anything.
Yeah.
And it's emotionally exhausting as a creator to talk about things negatively all the time. It really is. And to have something like Stranger Things, I literally had to learn a new vocabulary and how to express joy on what we're getting. And so for me, again, I this is not an act. This is genuinely something I appreciate and affected me deeply. Now, that doesn't have to affect everybody, but just for me, I'm almost made 200 videos. To finally make one where I'm like, you've got to watch this. I mean, it's a different thing,
Mm-hmm. So, okay, but yeah, that was a great scene. Episode 4. So I've heard people complain about Stranger Things. Like some people are like, oh, I don't
Me
like
too.
this season as much. It's kind of slow. I'm like,
That's the thing. The
watch
slow.
while it pays off. Episode 4 and episode 7 pay off.
I
But
agree.
I, but
I
I
didn't
don't.
think it was slow,
I didn't
though.
find
I
it
didn't
slow
think
at
it was
all. I
either.
was talking to you through Salty. I was talking to you. I was
We're
through DM going
tweeting all
like,
the way through these shows, and I'm going, "Oh my god!" And he's going, "Oh my god!" And we're
and
doing
then
this
yeah,
all
and
day
through
yeah.
Gray
long.
too.
You know?
I'm like, hey, did you see this? Like, it's like I didn't, dude. These were hour and 15-minute episodes,
Yeah.
right? And I did. It was like coming out of Lord of the Rings. It was 3.5 hours gone, and it was just like,
hmm
okay, great.
hmm
I loved every minute of it, right? I didn't feel like they were long or boring at all. I mean, it's like,
Not at
ooh,
all.
there's dialogue that's helping us
Mm.
understand what's going on in the plot. For
Storytelling.
shame. I mean, it's
Storytelling.
like I don't
Crazy.
understand. It's like we're I hate the culture that it's got to be all action, 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 comedy, comedy, comedy. It's like, how about we build like that's why Better Call Saul is so great. That's why this is so great. I haven't seen Maverick yet, but I hear that's just good, clean fun, right?
I'm
I
going
mean,
tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow.
Well, you're gonna be.
it's like
You're gonna be.
you know,
You're gonna go
action,
for it.
action comedy. I'm tired of it. Just can we get some good old fashioned just dialogue, good storytelling, a plot A to B with some character arcs and character progression. That's all I want.
That's it.
Do
It's not
you?
rocket science.
No, but here's the thing. Compare this against what we're getting in Disney and also what's on Netflix. Do you guys think that maybe somebody in Netflix is like, Jesus, we're hemorrhaging money, and God, no one is really watching our stuff, and this ESG score stuff, it's killing us because it's
Maybe.
killing everybody. Let's be really honest about it, regardless of industry. But do you think somebody's like, all right, Duffer Brothers, we're gonna give you this. We're gonna let you do whatever you want, and if you get crazy viewership numbers, if you prove to us that people can keep their ass on the sofa and watch an hour and a half long episodes, and 7 of them, then we will make more content like this, like Steve's talking about. Now, is that just me wishing for Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny to all come at the same time?
Yeah.
Metaphorically, I mean, because some of these, there have to be some people that are not smoking the crackium of ESG. And you know that there are some people that realize that they can play these damn games all they want, but at the end of the day, if that stock price is down, they're going to lose that office. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, like, how did something like Stranger Things get to be made to the quality that it is and the length that it was with the budget that it did? You know? Does anybody know how much they spent an episode on that show?
That's an interesting question. I'd love to
I'll
know
check it out.
just because of all the
I'll check
money
it out.
being dumped into stuff, and it's one of those like I don't know, like I haven't heard anybody talking about it either, but I know Netflix obviously reputation is in the toilet, but and rightfully so. But they redid, or I don't know if redid is the proper term, but there's a show that came out called The Lincoln Lawyer on there. They had the McConaughey movie, but there's that show is on Netflix, and I actually watched that and enjoyed that whole show too, for the most part.
I got a number.
Oh God,
Does anybody remember how much Wheel of Time cost for season 1?
$100 million,
$100 million for 8
episodes,
half an
Yeah.
hour, 45-minute episode.
45 minutes I think 45 minutes to
Yeah.
fair 45 minutes to an hour. I'd have to
Sure.
get the exact runtime, but that's 45 minutes.
And the first season of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, obviously there's CG budget, but I believe they were spending $10 million an episode. Does that sound about right, you
I think
guys?
that's fair. I mean,
Okay.
you keep hearing the $1 billion number for the whole thing,
Yeah.
but
Well, it is with sunk cost and overtime for 5 seasons.
Sounds like
So-
Discovery as well. Star Trek Discovery was 10 million an episode, wasn't it, Brian?
Originally, when we were supposed to get the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, supposed to be 25 seasons.
let's put a poll up for the
Or
this.
25 episodes in a season.
Wow.
Now there's only 8. It's going to be that little half-ass thing like they did with Wheel of Time. $10 million an episode, right? Or whatever it is, $100 million bucks. They did Stranger Things, and someone needs to look at the total runtime of just the first 7 episodes. It only cost $30 million.
Holy crap! Really?
No way. Jesus,
30
man. You built that
million?
up, so that was worth the delivery. Wow.
Well, no, there's a
That's
reason why I set it up, though. I mean,
30
like
million.
you have to put this in context. Not only that, but look at the hours. Look at the watch hours, though. We're not talking about having your ass in a seat for like 20 minutes for some POS not Star Wars show. Like Disney. How much did Kenobi cost an episode?
Well,
Seriously.
and it's just being smart about how you're using your money, because like, what would Star Wars do if they had three separate characters floating in the air? Well, they'd CGI.
You mean like Leia in the Last Jedi, like Mary
Right.
Poppins?
Well, right. Well,
Hmm.
Kenobi, hovering Leia. There's a point where he's grabbing,
Hovering?
struggling
Is
to grab Leia,
hovering?
right, with the
Oh,
Force, right?
Jesus. Are you talking about
Whatever,
that
bullshit.
show,
But
that Kenobi show?
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, it's like they CGI that, right? Well, I mean, if they CGI'd it in Stranger Things, you got three separate episodes where you got people floating midway through the air. I'm pretty sure it looked practical to me. They're probably
There
holding
was a
up with
lot
wires.
of CGI, and there was a lot of practical effects, though.
Right.
That was the crazy thing. And with Vecna, there was a lot of and when Vecna puts the hand over the face, that was a prosthetic. That was not CG. You
Yeah.
could
Well,
tell, and it
I'm
looked
wondering. Yeah.
freaking real. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm wondering. I'm especially with that budget of only 30 million for all of this. There's got to be a lot of practical mixed with CGI in there. A lot of the hanging stuff. There's all probably practical ropes and old school, stuff,
Hmm.
where they didn't just go, well, we'll just CGI that out in post and float them up in the air and it'll be fine. It's just like,
You
that just
guys hear me,
shows
by
you
the
don't.
way?
Yeah.
You guys hear me, by the way?
I will pull
Yeah.
it up. I will pull it up because I have 7 sources that I said that I pulled from, including CBR.
30
Oh
million per
shit!
episode, that'd be crazy. That
Yeah.
seems like a
Yes,
lot.
it would be.
That seems like a lot. If it was, then it's like, well, we need some spaceships.
Okay,
Can
wait
hear-
a
hear you
minute.
fine there,
I
Coriel.
I
Yeah.
I was misinformed.
Uh-oh. All right. Is it 30 million an episode?
Ooh.
Wow.
You serious?
How the hell do you spend 30? Okay, I took back everything that I said.
Yeah, but it looks amazing. It's brilliant. I mean, they can't be
so-
paying the actors that much, can they?
Okay,
Wow.
that makes sense.
So it makes
it's just
sense.
I was reading off of CBR and it said it was 30 million for season 4, and never read anything from CBR.com. Ever.
That's all that proves.
So then
right?
I went to the New York, the Wall Street Journal, and they said it has a per episode budget of $30 million. That means that season 4 cost $270 million.
Wow.
$270 million.
Now, does that include what they're paying the cast, or is that just for the
That's
show?
everything. That's literally everything. But the question is how many total minutes of runtime is season 4? Because that, I think, is more important than total cost, because your ROI,
It's got to be around 12
it's gotta-
hours.
season
Probably
4,
probably more like 10.
Well,
that's
the
still a lot.
the last two episodes are 2 hours each.
No, they're hour 40, hour 20, hour 10.
I would
Okay.
make that 12 hours.
The total time, I was right.
Well, yeah.
It is almost 13 hours for season 4. It is 12 hours and 51 minutes.
Does that include the last 2 episodes?
That includes
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of it.
I would assume that's the last 2 included.
Okay, then all right.
Yeah, I was including the last 2, not just 7. The 7.
I don't
didn't
think
make
we
it.
know how long. Do we know how long those last 2 episodes
Yeah.
are?
They've
How
2
long?
hours each.
They're
Yeah.
2 hours. They're both 2 hours each.
2
I've
hours
got them
each.
right here.
Oh,
I've
that's
got
gonna
them
be
right here.
The
awesome.
last
then.
one's 2.5
Hold on.
hours.
Yes,
I think.
Noporio. Yeah, there's
Hold on.
two movies basically.
Where is it? Where
I think
where is
episode
this?
9. I think episode
Can you
9 is
share
2.5 hours. I'm
Yeah,
almost-
take my
almost
screen.
there.
Take my screen. I got it.
Mamma mia.
Yep, there you
Hour
go.
25, 2.5 hours for episode 9. Oh my gosh! Holy crap!
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's a whole Disney Plus show.
That's longer than Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Godzillionaire, I was looking at an old one, and I was looking at the headline, and then it said it had. I made a mistake. I was wrong. It happens once
Yep.
every 1,000 years. So there you go.
Like they
Important
really.
thing is
That
you
was all me.
corrected it.
I made it. I
It's
made a
all
big
good,
mistake.
right?
Wow, they put a lot of runtime. Wow, this is
So 13
Crazy.
hours because
Salty,
I
where have
wanna-
you gone? You disappeared.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
hiding in a gazillion there.
I know.
my bad.
I feel so great.
No,
being
no,
on
no,
this.
I'm joking.
That's okay. I'm
But-
gonna go off camera anyway.
Keep
Screw
him
you.
hidden, Noporio. Keep him hidden.
How many people do you think resubbed to Netflix to see this though?
A lot.
mean-
I did.
A lot.
A lot.
I think a lot
So
did.
I mean, it's 230 million, which is look, it's a hefty price tag, but I mean, this is their penultimate show. This is Netflix. This is their show right now. They got Daredevil's gone. I don't.
Yeah,
What other? Yeah.
I didn't know they could. I thought Netflix owned. I thought Netflix owned the rights because they're the ones that produced Daredevil and all those shows. Now they're all on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's complicated, isn't it?
Because I know that. I mean, obviously Disney owns Marvel, but I thought like they had I thought it had the stuff that they made had to stay on Netflix. I was surprised.
You guys remember 774? You remember that for me? 774.
774.
Guys, as a comparison, like how much did the Eternals cost, the movie? Yeah, just compare it. Think about it. We're saying 270 million is a lot, but how much better is season 4 Stranger Things than the Eternals, Shang-Chi? Anything else?
I think the fact that anybody
seeing those.
watched, I mean, how many people watched Stranger Things compared to Eternals or Legends of the Something Rings? You know,
wish they'd release the numbers.
I haven't watched those movies. I'm done with Marvel.
The only Marvel Phase 4 movie I saw was Doctor Strange, and I regret it deeply.
Sorry.
Really. So the cost for it per minute of television for Stranger Things, and I might have done this wrong because it was $270 million. Divide that by 774 minutes, which is approximately 12 hours and 50 minutes. It works out to about $349,000 per a minute.
$349,000 a minute.
Yeah, times 774. Yeah. So 349,000. What I'm really curious about is $80 million and the total runtime of Wheel of Time. But you guys don't have to do this for me. I'm just going to sit over here and nerd out. But
is it right?
I like
you enjoyed
data.
Wheel of Time, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot. It was the best thing.
God, what did they do to that poor Robert Jordan series? His book.
They made everybody gay, and they gave it to somebody you couldn't even win at Survivor. That's what happened.
Dear me.
Napoleon,
did you watch Wheel of Time, by the way? Napoleon.
I did not. Well, here's the thing. I read the first book. I wanted to see how the original attack on, was it Evansfield? Is that the name of the town?
Edmondsfield, yeah.
Emmonsfield.
Yeah.
And I saw it. It was nice to see Bruce Bolton, the actor Michael McKelton, play Tam Althor. And other than that, it looked terrible. Like the Trollocs looked awful. I was just like, I'm not watching this. And then I saw how they casted everybody. I'm like, what is this? Isn't this based on European fantasy?
That's racist.
I'm sorry.
That's racist.
It's like The Witcher season 2, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you a geneticist? You know,
I'm not a geneticist. No.
So Wheel of Time worked out to be about $182,000 per minute of television. If you guys can believe that for Wheel of Time. So I guess there's a reason why Netflix's Stranger Things 4 coming in at $349,000 per a minute of television looks the way that it does. But it's not just the money; it's the story.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I mean, the story is what makes this. What makes this successful, and the fact that everybody else feels the same way is at least I'm not alone in loving this, and I'm glad there's people here that like stuff. And I mean, the lot of people that we associate with are given bad reps because people believe that all they do is hate stuff for the clicks and everything.
I've been told that.
And I mean, what they choose to cover is their business. And like, I'm surprised like Gary has not covered the Orville because he's praised the Orville in the past.
Yeah, that surprised me too. Yeah.
So,
Doviende say Tovius again says, what are the numbers compared to Stranger Things season 4 to Wheel of Time? We just did that. And for Stranger Things, it was per minute, and there were 774 total minutes of television. It worked out to $349,000 per minute. Mm-hmm. For Wheel of Time season 1, it was $80 million for season 1. It worked out to $182,000 per minute. And you had Rafe Judkins. So you might as well just shoveled all that money into a fire.
Burn
and
it.
you
Yeah.
would have got a better product.
Burn
I
it.
wonder how much.
What else has this guy done, Rafe Judkins? Is he
Agents of
inexperienced?
Shield.
Like,
I think he did some of.
Yeah,
The
that
Shield?
got canceled. That
I've heard
that got
Agents of Shield.
canceled.
I've heard Agents of Shield was pretty good. I don't know.
Well, the
I've
stuff that he did was panned, was
Oh.
critically panned.
Yeah, and then
But-
what he just did the Uncharted movie that nobody liked. I think.
Yeah,
too,
I rest
right?
my case.
So
Yeah.
like failing upward or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, diversity and representation.
I wonder, guys, how much they had to pay for the music, for the song rights, because there's a lot of songs in season 4 of Stranger Things.
That's probably a good chunk of. So that
30
total all
million.
for production budget includes things like licensing,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rights, all those other things,
Well,
and
is that cast salary too? Because I mean, all those
it's everything.
Because-
That's every
because you gotta-
nut and screw and sugar
I mean, you
cube
got-
and cup of coffee ever.
I mean, you
That's
got Winona Ryder, you got David Harbour, you got Finn Wolfhard, you got there's Millie Bobby Brown. I wonder how much these people cost now.
Did
too.
you see
That
how they
makes you wonder.
changed? Did you see how they changed the order? This time, Millie Bobby Brown's name is above Finn Wolfhard's name.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Did you notice that too?
No,
I was
didn't
just
see
like,
that.
I was just like, oh, boy.
Oh yeah. Well, she was in that shitty Godzilla movie, so I guess she's got to have something to show for it, right?
I guess she's making more.
Mm.
She's making more than Finn, I guess.
Well, I would assume. I mean, they're always looking for the new It girl, right? So
Godzillionaire says, but does watch hours really mean a whole lot to Netflix considering there's no ads? I think it does, because I think, like we talked about, there were people who left Netflix for a lot of very good reasons. I'm one of them, and I left them a while ago, and I am still not a subscriber. I am watching through alternate means that are legal, Mama Susan, and I still won't go back and subscribe. But I think that Stranger Things 4 brought people back.
Mhm.
I really do.
I do absolutely, especially with all the buzz. Like, I mean, look, there's people panning it, there's people complaining, but I think the overall sentiment is, especially when it came out at the same time as Obi-Wan, was Obi-Wan. I saw a lot of Obi-Wan had to release 3 hours early to get one up on Stranger Things.
Well,
4.
they panicked. They
Right.
panicked.
Yeah. But that's
Nobody
the narrative.
cared.
Is Obi-Wan can't beat Stranger Things 4, so that right there says, well, there's a lot of buzz already for it, and I think, I mean, as you know, the more and more longer it's been out, I think the more the temperature is showing that a lot of people like it. A lot of people are starting to, okay, maybe I've been too hard on this. Let me take another look, and then they look at it, it's like, okay, well, there you go. It is, So I do think even if they just resubbed for this month, I would assume a lot of people resub to see this show, and then probably will unsub again.
I mean, Godzillionaire does raise a good point, and you are being a pain, but
Yes.
you are also right. Is we don't know, and at the end of the day, I don't wish
We'll never know.
Netflix
Yeah.
any goodwill at all. I don't. What I want to do is acknowledge what the Duffer Brothers did, and acknowledge that there's some really good television. And I dropped a clip from our Tuesday show where I kept waiting for the woke to be jammed in, and I didn't see it. And believe me, I am keenly aware of ideology, intersectional feminism, neo-Marxism, all of the ologies, all of the gender stuff, and it wasn't there. First of all, because it wasn't there in the effing 80s when I was a kid, so maybe that's a good reason it's not there. But they chose not to jam it in into recreate history to serve whatever current narratives there are. So I don't know. Godzillionaire, you're right. Does it really benefit? Does it really benefit Netflix? I really, at the end of the day, don't care what happens to Netflix, but I do think they got a minor bump in subs, which that's fine. I don't care. But what I do care about is I finally got something I wanted to watch and couldn't wait to watch, and I'm going to watch again and again and again. And the last time that happened was The Expanse and the first season of The Witcher, and that's all I've had.
First 3 seasons of The Expanse, great.
Yeah,
and then maybe after the Duffer Brothers finish, maybe somebody is going to be instantly willing to fund their next project because of So,
well, you know who needs a Star Wars project is somebody like the Duffer Brothers. Yeah, they'll never get it.
Star Wars is over, so let's forget about it.
Give them Wheel of Time.
I know,
There you go.
I know.
Yeah.
No, Wheel of Time is dead too.
Yeah.
We won't get another adaptation of that in our lifetimes.
Can I ask you?
I'd like
I'll
to
go
see
for it.
I'd like to see the Duffer Brothers do like an anthology series. Because I think originally Stranger Things was going to be an anthology series, but then they decided to make
Yes.
it.
I remember that. Different kids.
Yeah, it was supposed
different
to,
kids. It's same upside down, but different kids, different families, different situations. And I'm surprised that they kept going with it. So, yeah, what were you saying, Gray?
Can I ask you all a question? I know this is not really controversial, but it's a kind of popular topic. Do you think it would be doing better, Stranger Things, if they were releasing it weekly instead of like dropping it all in one go? I know it's great to be able to watch it over a weekend, like me and Salty.
I think. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad that they split up the season because I'm excited now. I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, they did that.
I agree.
I think they should have. What I think they should have did was, and this is my opinion, I think they should have released the first 4 episodes. Episode 4 would have been a hell of a send off for the first volume.
Agreed.
Volume 2 would have been 5, 6, and 7, and then volume 3 would be 8 and 9.
I agree. It would have been very hard, but that was a very good. Yes, it's
natural break.
100% natural break, and then you got your second natural break where you got well, and then what do they show whether she gets out or not? Like
that's where I would have stopped it.
They fade to black and then done.
Well,
and then,
I would have had a rock fall, and it could have either hit her or it didn't, and that's just where it ends.
Because that's sort of where it ends now. Well, they go after, but a rock fall, like you see rocks fall, and then black, and then it's like, are they going to show us? And then they show
I thought
us.
they killed her. I really did. I thought they.
Steven Ransom, sorry, mate. Sorry, I just had to bring it up because I just worry that it's not getting enough press, or it's not being talked about enough because it's not.
Dude, it's doing killer numbers. It is the hottest thing around right now.
I think,
but you're right.
The binge model, I think there's a place for it, but there's they need to find a happy medium, I guess. But I don't want to go into that. We're talking.
No, let's.
I'd rather talk about Stranger Things stuff.
I'm with Nerdrotic on this. I'm with Nerdrotic on this issue. I think the weekly model is better. It builds up more hype. It builds up a bigger audience, in my opinion.
I like the hybrid. I like the hybrid we just talked about.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this many hours of television, divide it into 3 parts.
Yep.
I like this. I like this too.
I like having the cliffhanger, but they could have strung it along. Honestly, you guys, I wonder if part of the reason they did it this way was because their stock has been in the latrine, and they needed something big. They needed something big, and they did a Hail Mary with this. Maybe that's what happened. Really this was supposed to be weekly, and someone said,
really needed this.
We need numbers now. I don't know. Again, I don't wish him any goodwill. I just wanted a good show.
No, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say this again. I loved how this series, this new series, just took everything to the next level. Like I've been making the joke, dialing up to 11. Get it?
Bum.
But I love just like how there's so many storylines, and it just covers other facets of 80s, like the whole thing with Joyce and Murray on the plane. They're fighting Yuri.
That was awesome.
I'm Yuri, and then we find out. We find out in the beginning of the season that Murray's been taking up martial arts. He's been taking up karate. And what's funny is he reveals he's been sparring with like 16-year-olds.
Yeah, with little kids. With he's been beating up 12-year-olds.
Like Kramer and Seinfeld. There was the episode where they're talking about the search for Spock and the Wrath of Khan. That episode. Yeah. And Elaine's like, "You're fighting children?" He's like, "Well, yeah." And so but Murray was like, I'm taking martial arts, and we get to see him kick butt on the plane. But then they're like, we knocked him out. Who's going to fly the plane? So they end up crashing the plane. It gave me Temple of Doom vibes, even though
I was thinking that.
Well, they did crash, but they fell out with the raft. But in this case, they just survived the crash. It was a very Indiana Jones type of situation.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the Hopper storyline? Because I heard a few people kind of not sure about
the worst part for me.
It was the weakest part. I think it was the weakest part in all of this, but it wasn't bad.
They stretched it out, didn't they? They kind of stretched it out a bit.
Yeah. How did you guys feel about how he got captured? So I thought like the device, I thought he ran through a portal, or he got stuck in Russia and then got caught. But no, he just jumped down. He fell down and he climbed back up, and the Russians were just there, and they captured him.
I would have rather him go through the portal. Personally.
That's what I wanted too. But that's what I wanted to. But it makes sense because he didn't get through. It was a 50-50 jump and he missed it. And Hopper's not like a ninja. Hopper's like an 80s cop. You know what I mean? And
they give him the indie vibe a little bit because with the hat and everything. And
Or
And of
just
course,
look at
also like in then season 3, he went total Magnum PI. He was wearing the
yeah,
Hawaiian shirt
that's
this
true.
time.
Yeah,
That's what I
So
mean. He was
I
like he's like a donut eating cop. You
yeah.
know?
now he's Steve McQueen. Now he's basically Steve McQueen in the Great Escape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just thought
But
would have been cool if we had like if he got through the portal somehow. If I mean, I couldn't tell how far if there was a path or something to it, but if he got through the portal and then like it was almost like a will thing, only nobody knew he was there, and he was just trying to, traveling the upside down, trying to find a way out, right? And then, they go in there, and all of a sudden there's Hopper save their butt and like torn up, I don't know, wearing a bat's freaking. He's made his own, outfit out of freaking upside down carcasses. I don't know, but
Demon bats.
that's
those
another
demo
storyline
bats
altogether.
were, oh my gosh.
They were cool. They were scary, man.
Yes, they were.
Godzillionaire's got a good point, Nippo, in the chat. Godzillionaire saying the whole Russia arc reminded me of Spies Like Us. Great reference.
Yeah,
I have not
like
seen.
that movie.
I've not seen. That's the one with Dan Aykroyd, right? Dan
Dan Aykroyd,
Yeah,
Chase.
yeah. I saw
Chevy
that in
Chase.
the movie
I have
theater.
not seen that
I
one.
saw that.
Me too,
haven't
sorry.
seen it in a long time.
He married his beautiful blonde co-star. Those of you who've seen Spies Like Us, Dan Aykroyd, uber geek, married that beautiful woman in that movie, and they were married for 30-something years, and I believe they're just getting a divorce now. So, pretty wild story.
Didn't he
Wow.
meet her in the movie? And I saw. My dad told me this. He met her in the movie Dr. Detroit.
Oh,
His wife.
I remember that movie. That's back when
I've-
PG meant boobs all the
I
time.
haven't
They
seen
were
that. I
always
haven't
out,
seen that.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then they spoofed the sequel like Dr. Detroit 2, The Wrath of Mom, because the villain, the evil villain in that movie her name was Mom. She was an old mob leader. She was just a mom. They called her Mom. So just kind of made me think of the Goonies mom. So, but so okay, so you guys thought I loved how the Hopper tried to escape. I loved how Hopper escaped.
Yes, that was an awesome scene. Yeah.
Yeah, he blew up the thing. They took the snow speeder and got away from them. But
It's a snowmobile. Wrong franchise. Snowmobile, not a snow speeder. But yes.
A snow speeder is Star Wars. Sorry.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
It used to be. It used to be. Yeah.
When Star Wars was good.
Star Wars was good. And they're hiding in the Orthodox Church, and I recognize the Orthodox Church because I attended Orthodox Church when I was younger.
Yep.
With the icons and all that, and like they had all those boxes of peanut butter, and then he gets caught. I was like, oh man, like don't get like no, he got
I know.
caught. No,
I didn't
was
want him to get caught. I wanted him
know.
to be on the run through Russia. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But
I had a feeling something wasn't done in Russia, obviously because the Demogorgon part that they had teased hadn't been done anything with. So I was sort of hoping they would have maybe tamed the Demogorgon and let it loose going after him out in the Russian wilds. That could have been interesting, but
I did not think of that.
I don't know. I knew it wasn't over because that thing hadn't shown up yet.
Because you're wondering how they got a Demogorgon, and then of course in the new trailer or the trailer for Volume 2, you see that they have part of the Mind Flayer bottled up or enclosed in a room or something.
I mean part 2 trailer? That looked creepy. I want to know what the hell is in those cases. Because I bet you there's an homage to some 80s horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And how much do you want to bet maybe John Carpenter's The Thing or an alien, like a face hugger, is in one of those cases and jars? I think that would be the coolest thing ever. I really do.
I mean, I think the Demogorgon was kind of based off of the xenomorph in terms of the type of creature it is, because it doesn't have a face; it just has a mouth and teeth.
Well, we talked about Rand Giger, who is H.R. Giger's son, if I remember correctly, who's been responsible for the creature design and is a producer on the show. And of course, H.R. Giger is the one who designed the xenomorph.
Well, their names are
the
spelled
aliens.
different, so I don't think they're
related. Are they?
Yeah,
right. Well, then I'm wrong.
Rand
Ignore
Geiger
me.
is E-I-G-E-R, and then Giger is G-I-G-E-R. So.
Are you sure? All right.
Yeah, I looked.
I always thought it was Geiger as well. That's just me. They're probably the British English.
I
H.R. Geiger with the alien designs. Fantastic designs. Very sexual, very phallic.
Very nightmarish.
Just saying.
He literally says, like, I can't get these thoughts out of my head. I have to put it down or I'll go crazy. You know, and I think that's how Giger put it when someone asked him where he they just pop up in his head. It's weird.
Yeah, where'd you get those ideas from, man? Wow.
Exactly. But obviously they were building up to the Demogorgon. And of course, we have this new what was the Russian dude's name? The one that played Jaqen Hagar in Game of Thrones. Tom Vlachia's character. I forget his Enzo.
Enzo. Well, yeah, Enzo.
Enzo. Yeah.
So Enzo was the one on the inside that contacts Joyce and sends her the doll, and Murray's like, oh, it could be a bomb. Get some rope and build like a anvil, build like an Acme type of device to
Roadrunner.
It, so in case there's a
coyote,
in case there's like an explosive in it. It was just a note with the number. She calls the number. It was she called the number. It was a payphone, I think.
Yeah, it was.
So, and then it's like, give me $40,000. Like $40,000. That's a lot of money for 19.
You could buy a house in the 80s for $40,000. You could.
I'm like, where'd they get the money from? I guess Hopper had it, or
well, they're in federal protection. You know, I mean, you got to think about that. So maybe that's part of it.
I don't know. She just goes like, "I'm going to the bank." I'm like, that's a little bit weird, but
that's a lot of money.
I mean, maybe her credit is sterling for being in protection. I don't know.
That's a lot of
That's
money.
what happens. Yeah, when you get a new identity, that's what happens.
Yeah. So, them leading up to the Demogorgon fight, they're feeding them, giving them like a meal, and they're like, oh, the Demogorgon's gonna eat us and take our nutrients. That's why they're feeding us and making us plump for this, so that we could get killed easier. I think. I don't remember, but I liked how the fight. I like how while they're fighting the Demogorgon, Joyce and Murray are already infiltrated the prison, and they're like, which button do we open? Just open them all. Are you sure? He's like, are you sure? Open it now. And so it was like, I just love the pressing time because the Demogorgon's going to kill them. They're like, you got to open the door now.
Notorio, what was that a reference to as well? I think it's Hopper. He says something like this. I'm paraphrasing, but before the Demogorgon comes out, it's like, whatever comes out, whatever comes through that door, hold the line.
It's Lord of the Rings. That's what Gandalf says at the gates of Minas Tirith. No matter what comes through those doors, stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant, Steve.
Yeah, it was right in the gates. I'm like, yes, it's Gandalf. All right.
What a reference. What a line. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, they've. Oh yeah, here's the funny thing. They mentioned Mordor in the series, and it was Eddie that mentioned. He's like, would I rather go to Mordor or let the Shire burn? I guess we're going to Mordor. It
was a great reference, and
I
loved Eddie's character.
And then Steve being the wisest one was like, what's Mordor? He's like, what's Mordor? but here's the thing: when they went into the Upside Down with those demo bats flying and attacking them, it felt like Mordor to me. It felt like Lord of the Rings. Those demo bats made me think
I would
of
agree.
What do they call them? The Felbeasts, the ones that fly. Except they're not that big, but still, there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of the birds. Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock. It was scary. I loved how he took the demo bat and went from.
I know, he's beating the damn thing. We've had a request from Nosferatu the Vampire as well as Stephen Ransom that perhaps someone has a shot. I am going to have a little bit of bourbon in both of your honors as well as the chat. So hail to you.
I don't. I'll drink my Pepsi.
Just coffee count.
Nice coffee mug. Nice coffee mug.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't have my Nurporial glass out, so
no. I need
back to that, guys. The Eddie character. I loved Eddie character. I wanted to see more of him. In the first episode, he was great. But did you like the references to the Satanic Panic, the Dungeons and Dragons?
I was there.
That was weird.
It's aggravating even just hearing it in a fantasy set. It's just like, oh my god. It's just like, but it's all happened, right?
Based on fact. Based on fact, yeah.
That happened to me. That's what my parents did. That's what my parents did with all of my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, all of the lead figures that I painted, all of my dice, all of my fantasy books. I came home from school one day. They sat my brother and I down at the kitchen table, and they said, "We can't have you bringing Satan into the house."
it made me think of Harry Potter in
This
the
is a
2000s.
true story. It's a true story. So all the stuff that I bought with my own effing money,
Yeah.
they threw in the garbage because that way
crazy.
the devil wouldn't get into the house. Because my scary TSR second edition books with the dragons on them and pictures of goblins were somehow a portal for freaking Satan.
Well, I think
That-
Well, I think
that was this happened. This is real. It sucked.
Well, I think the jocks. I mean, just you got that whole thing with the parents and all that, and then the
Yeah.
jocks just
That's
the
how it was
portrayal of
back in
them,
the day.
Yeah, just going after the freaks, right? I mean, it really sort of brought you back there. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh my, it just was like frustrating to see, but like like wow, look.
It was also related to the heavy metal scene, wasn't it? A lot of them
Yeah.
heavy metal bands,
Yeah.
the album
Yeah.
covers, the art. It was all like linked to that.
But
And did you know, guys? You must have seen they made a kind of propaganda anti-D&D movie with Tom Hanks, a very young Tom Hanks in it, called Mazes and Monsters.
Yeah, he's a pussy.
I think it's on YouTube. I think you can watch it for free.
I didn't
It's
know that.
terrible.
Tell me again
It's
why
really-
Tom Hanks decided to renounce his citizenship and go to a country
Flee?
with no extradition.
Flee.
Oh, was that?
Greece?
did
Look
that have
that
to
one
do
up,
with an
guys. I'm
island?
just gonna park that one there.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
Nosferatu excited with that comment, so be
In
careful.
particular, island had to do with that, right? Do I remember correctly?
Yeah, Greece. Yeah.
Tipper Gore went after 80s hair metal, says Nosferatu.
They did.
After
They did.
everything.
I was there for all that stuff, guys. I mean, it was real, and people were losing their minds. You guys are gonna laugh your ass off now. Do you know who they were concerned about? They were concerned about KISS. They thought that KISS stood for, and this is literally because my dad was a pastor. This is the crazy stuff that was really happening because I had to deal with this bullshit on a daily basis. Somebody somewhere said that they figured out that KISS was really an anagram that meant Knights in Satan's Service, and that if you owned,
Excuse me.
do I look like I'm making this up? This
No,
is
it's
crazy
insane.
stuff that happened in the 80s. Seriously,
Dude,
this
that'd
is
be so
all
cool if it
real.
was true.
This
Could that be
is
true?
all real. I know it would
Please.
be, right? Can you imagine? Like, you can bring demons into your house if you have a mediocre metal
Dude.
piece of vinyl. Like, all those records back there, I probably could, like, summon, like,
That-
a whole army of Balrogs.
That is
according
such
to
an
this kind of
awesome.
logic.
That's a great band name, Knights in Satan's
Knights in
Service.
I
Satan's
know.
Service.
Let's,
Good
dude, let's start a
Lord.
band. I would like imagine
Somebody
the
copyright
t-shirts.
that
Come
now.
on,
Let's
Jesus.
do it, right?
Oh my god, this
I
is
always
all
thought
real though.
Kiss
This
were
was
more
real.
Glam rock than metal,
Believe
but anyway.
this.
Yeah.
It's hysteria, and this is the madness of the crowds. It's the same thing that caused the Salem witch trial. I was going to say it's the same thing that caused the communist panic in the 50s, but that was real, as we all
Yeah.
are living right now. That actually was going on, and I mean, but it's just like it's hysteria, and you see it on Twitter every day if you're in social media and on Facebook, and you see how people have decided to weaponize that by trying to make things go viral to cause people to lose their minds through suggestive messaging. And they reference it in Stranger Things because they talk about MK Ultra, which was a real program. You know,
Salty, I learned such fun things from you every stream, man. Knights of
Yeah,
Satan's
me too, man.
Service. That is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing right there.
dude,
I am going.
the
That's gonna, like,
creativity, we very creative. Yeah.
And what's another one? Lord have mercy. AC/DC is against Christ, devil's. What?
Well, no,
Against Christ,
what they
devil's
used to say
children?
about AC/DC, this is true too. 'Cause I was on the ground in the 80s. They said AC/DC was code because they said AC/DC was a gay heavy metal band because AC/DC meant bisexual. And they told Angus Young this, and Angus Young, the lead singer's like, we didn't know that. It's like people were running with this narrative that AC/DC was this like code for bisexual gay metal, and it's like, ask the band, and they're like, no, just a bunch of
no.
morons making things up. You know, kind of like now, morons just making things up. You know,
Oh my goodness!
Knights in Satan's Service on tour now.
So where did
Makes
this
the shirts now.
So where
Do
did
it.
this come from?
Sorry, this came from
scare?
Eddie, the character Eddie, and sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So
Yeah.
where did this scare in the 80s come from? Did someone write an article, an op-ed, or about Dungeons and Dragons?
Do you guys remember the whole thing with evangelicals being on cable TV? So cable TV brought a lot of cool things. MTV was one of them for all too brief of a time. And yes, they actually played music videos on MTV for a while. And
Yeah.
but the
Really?
other people to take over cable television were televangelists, where
Oh, yeah.
suddenly they could be begging for money. And
Every Sunday morning. Yep.
Satan was under every rock, every throw cushion, and certainly in your kids' Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Yeah.
And
This
this was just a way to whip up a frenzy, to get people to send money, to freak out, and for them to be controlled.
Yeah, it seemed like every Sunday morning you could find several of them, and then at midnight they were all over the place. You could half the channels were somebody preaching something else about. It's just like, it was all over the place. You're absolutely right.
Guys, there was a comment by the Thad That Shouldn't Be earlier, Nerporially. He addressed that, the movie Mazes and Monsters was based on a book by a woman who made money pandering to the fears of people in the satanic panic.
Yes, just like the BLM Build Large Mansions people with their
Go figure, though, right? I mean,
everything has happened before. It has all happened before. The grift, that was the grift of the '80s. Now this
Excuse me.
is the grift of now.
Yep.
It's all happened before. It'll all happen again.
Once you see patterns, you will not react. If you just understand this has all happened before, and it's all bullshit.
What's the saying? Never waste a good.
It was our good friend Barry Sarita who said never. No, it was Rahm Emanuel, one of your guys up there, Brian, said never let a good crisis go to waste.
That's it. Don't let a crisis go to waste. That's it.
Or was it Rahm Emanuel's brother that said it? I don't know.
What's that?
Maybe it was Rahm Emanuel's brother that said it because he was an agent.
Oh,
no, okay, maybe Rahm Emanuel.
It was Rahm, dude. I'm pretty sure.
Now I'm thinking of it. Yeah.
Look at this. We got Godzillionaire who's breaking our balls with all the deep cuts tonight, and he says Striper. I had a Striper cassette tape because there was a girl I was dating who was super religious, and so she wanted to listen to it. So of course I had to listen to it. Let's go ahead for the kids at home and let's show these people a picture of what Striper, the Christian heavy metal band, looked like, because you have to really see this in order to appreciate. Here we go. I'm pulling it up now, and this was a real thing, and this is the album. I'm pulling it up.
To Hell with the Devil. Is that the real name of the album? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hold on. You guys, now remember their name.
Remember
their name. Remember the name is Striper. And in case you forgot.
Like the fish?
Case you forgot, the band will never let you forget that they are Striper because everything was striped with black and yellow stripes.
Oh my God. Why didn't they Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Christian 80s.
Never heard of them.
Metal. Yeah. Well, there's a reason. It wasn't very good.
Yeah. It's not good.
But by listening to that album, I got to second base. So, got to take one for the team. So it is what it is.
Good for something then, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I listened to Striper.
Striper? Yeah.
What
Isaiah 53:5.
Yeah, read your Bible, you heathen. And no disrespect to any Christians, I'm just busting on Striper. So,
Striper. That was the name of a candy in the UK when I was growing up. It was a stripe, a rainbow-coloured candy bar. Just saying. That's all I think.
You guys are killing me with this stuff. Wasp. Oh my God.
Guys, on that note, I have to take my leave. I don't want to leave because this has been so much fun. It's been fantastic talking something amazing, something good for a change. Stranger Things Season 4. But Mrs. Wakizashi needs some lunch, and I'm gonna start making some Japanese ramen. So thank you for having me on.
Okay, absolutely.
Nerporial, thank you.
No problem. I just want to know what was your favorite story arc in this season, and what are your predictions for Volume 2?
Oh my God, the favorite story arc was probably Max, Lucas, and the Max story basically. But I love Dustin. I can't get enough of Dustin and Steve. The comedic timing and the kind of relationship, the chemistry they have is great. Wow, difficult. What do I hope for for Volume 2? I just hope for more of the same, more and longer. Because it's not boring.
Finale,
it's not boring.
No, it's not.
Can I ask one question? Who do you think is if they're going to kill off one of the main characters, who do you think is going to be?
Right.
Steve's too popular now. I don't think they're going to get rid of Steve. He's become too popular. He's become a great character.
It's hard.
Oh God, Will or Mike? Controversial.
Ooh.
I know. It's going to be one of them, I'm pretty sure.
Man,
Seriously.
if Will buys it, that sucks. He went through all that.
It can't be
Just to
Lucas.
die.
So we know like Lucas is in the safe zone. But
So guys, I'll still be listening, but I won't be able to like comment. I'll be
It's all
making
right.
lunch. So
All right,
see you
well-
soon. Yeah, Steve, Salty, and
Yes,
see you,
sir.
Gray.
the
Take it easy,
Admiral.
brother.
The Admiral.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
Arrivederci. And then there were three.
And then there were three. So I'm
Oh.
only gonna do this till 10 o'clock. So I'm sure you guys have other stuff you guys want to do. So make this a decent, clean 2 hours.
What'd you guys think of Lucas's sister in this?
I liked
was
her more.
interesting.
I liked her
Yeah.
more. I liked it when she stuck up for them when they were during the whole satanic or
Yeah.
scare.
I did too. I
Like
thought
the
it was a good.
Hellfire-
It was
Hellfire
consistent though. It was consistent with her character from
It just wasn't-
going back a couple seasons. She's very logical, but she's also very manipulative.
Blunt.
So
Yeah,
it
me
wasn't.
too.
She was still the same character, but it was just presented in a different way, and it wasn't like so. It felt better, right? At least to me. I mean, I liked that was their go-to for the Hellfire Club, right? You know, Dustin just was, and she just sort of, you know, her brazen attitude gets her in there, and yeah, I thought they handled her quite a bit better. So
I
was
liked
just curious.
how the I liked how like throughout the season Lucas is trying to be like he doesn't want to be picked on anymore, so he's now on the basketball team, and now he's friends with, you know, the basketball players, the you know the jocks, the cool kids, and and then he's going through his own little arc himself. He's not sure what he wants to do.
Yeah.
It's either these guys or his, you know, his nerdy friends, and he ultimately leaves those guys and goes back to his friends. And I love how he calls Dustin for the first thing. He's like, you guys are going to have problems, and this is in the midst of episode 4 with Vecna. And I like how he calls Dustin. He's like, these guys are after you. He's like, oh, really? Well, that stinks, but we got bigger. That stinks, but we got bigger. We got much bigger problems than that.
Max is just like, you're so far behind. Can you catch up, please? Can you catch up? We got so much other stuff going on. Your high school BS is not a big deal, which is I think it's gonna catch up to him. I mean, interesting enough, because that dude's not gonna give up. I mean,
it's a devil. It's a little devil.
So I got a super sticker from some guy named Salty. Ooh,
Who's that?
I don't know.
Where's the sticker at?
I don't know where I have it. I have it on my other screen on my YouTube studio. It's a devil. It's a demon. A demon.
We're talking about
demon
we're talking about
sticker.
upside down. It's entirely irrelevant.
Oh, I can see it on the other screen. There you go. I got you.
And I don't think I read Gray's super chat. I'll have to read that right now.
Oh, yeah.
So from Gray, from Wakizashi's Tea House, for 500 yen. 500 yen. Full yen. That's a lot of yen. Okay, that's not. But no, thank you, Gray. You're awesome. He says, thanks for inviting me on tonight's show. 80s synth soundtracks rule, and so does Stranger Things Season 4. Looking forward to a cool, nerdy discussion, mate. Thank you, Gray.
And we got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, and Wakizashi says right here, that was so much fun. The chat was awesome as usual. Yeah, this is. I'm surprised. I got 10 people, 10 viewers. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, hit that red subscribe button and hit the like button too.
And give this man a poop emoji or something. He works really hard. Brian does. A Nerdporial, he works really hard. He really is dedicated to his fandom. He's crazy enough to sit through Kurtzman Star Trek and talk about it. And I would never do those things. So,
well, not anymore. I watch episode 5. I'm pretty much those streams are not performing. So I'm like, okay, then I'll just.
Here's the thing. They're not performing. It's not because of the quality of your content, because you make great stuff. It's just that I think people are so done. We have reached the phase of no one's even hate watching this crap from Kurtzman anymore. I really don't think it, you know. Same thing with Kenobi. I mean, I think people will tune into a little bit to look at the Schadenfreude of this thing, but it's, for me, talking about Disney Star Wars was a stream killer. Nobody wanted to hear about it, so, and I didn't want to cover it, and you know.
It's interesting. I think that's happening a lot now. I mean, there's some things that people are. I think Star Wars. A lot of. I mean, I'm just over it. I mean, hell, my boss even came in the other day. Is like, I can't stop watching Kenobi. It's so bad, but I'm like, man, it is so bad. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's some things sort of seem to be shifting that direction. That people are just done talking about how bad it is. Uh,
Just,
we have new bad things to talk about, I guess, right?
well, just remember the old adage when it comes to propaganda, and propaganda equals ESG scores, in my opinion, is that once the lies stop being believed, that's when the force starts. So we'll see what the next phase of this interesting time period is. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I got a question, a Stranger Things question now. Since what do you think the plan is for the for Vecna? Just to open up to enough portals that they can't stop them filtrating through, and to gradually just
Yeah, I think they're going
open
to
more and
unleash
maybe have them connect, or is he making a big portal out of smaller portals, or what do you think's
I
happening?
I don't. I think I. Th- it just seems like they're making because every victim of Vecna's creates a portal. That's how, like, that first victim, Chrissy. That's how they
Mhm.
get through at the very end of episode 7, and of course
I
that's
didn't
when they.
expect that at
I
all.
didn't
Like,
expect
we
that
didn't
either.
talk about Chrissy either. So this is a spoiler review. When she was going to buy the drugs, I knew she was having a problem. I just didn't expect her to die in that incredibly 80s classic horror, just
Yeah, I
gross
thought,
I
way.
mean,
You know? I
and
mean,
I
then that's where you said it was just like Freddy Krueger,
hmm
where
hmm
she's kind of
yeah,
dreaming, or
with the
she's in that.
claw.
Yeah,
well,
Yeah.
she's
my
in that
initial
world, but the whole psychological thing felt very was all Freddy Krueger was very psychological too, but it made me think of Pennywise in a bit too.
Well, my initial thought when she came out of the counselor's office was nothing to do with anything. I thought it was going to be related to her boyfriend, like he was doing something to her or
I
something,
I
right?
thought she was pregnant. I thought that's
Yeah,
as far as it
exactly.
was
That's
going to
because she was
go.
holding her belly. I
She's the
thought there's going to be
cheerleader and she's
teenage
pregnant,
pregnancy.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, and maybe her
yeah.
boyfriend's going to be abusive, and we're going to get like a 80s after school special vibe.
That's exactly what I
Instead,
thought. Yeah,
dude, you know what I mean? Instead, they're like, psych, we're going to go 3,000 miles in that other direction, and you better hang on. And I was
yeah.
like, you have got my attention, you
Immediately
know?
too. They didn't let you wonder. Immediately, next
Yeah.
scene, it was that
Hey,
creepy bathroom
Squeaka,
scene.
Squeaka, I have bourbon. Hail, Squeaka. How you doing, Squeaka? I hope you have
Um,
bourbon this weekend, Squeaka.
I have to address a super sticker from some guy named Prophet of the Dragon, and he sent me a poop emoji. Thank you,
That's
Steve.
that redheaded guy. It's that redheaded guy. I've done work
It's
with him.
better watch out. I mean, the ginger side's a real thing.
It's true.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be
I guess I should.
careful.
I guess I should just lean into this red hair thing. I
You
can't
should.
change the light in my room.
You should. Yeah.
We'll just. That way, nobody. If anybody ever sees me in public, it'll be like, "What? Why'd you dye your hair? Why is it brown?" It's like
Mm.
it's that.
Witness
Yeah.
protection program. Yeah.
His protection. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what are we talking about? I completely blank now.
We were talking about Stranger Things. We were talking
Chrissy, we
about
were talking about.
Christy and
Chrissy.
yeah, well, all the characters. Let's talk about that before we end the show. Was all the victims? You know what I mean? Because that's
Yes.
important. I think that those victims are going to come back in some form. I don't know if I don't think they're just batteries. I think there's something else that maybe Vecna has done with them. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
because
maybe they're going to be
they
allies before you get to the boss fight. You
Well,
know?
because they zoomed up on the fingers a few times when they're in
Mm-hmm.
Vecna's area. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
see, like their fingers were in a certain way, and he's doing
Yeah.
the same thing to each of them each time, and they're on display. So maybe, yeah. So maybe there's. I think you're right. There might be something more to that. Hopefully, there is.
God, look at what Godzillionaire says, and I think, and I've thought about this, but I didn't want to say it. But I'm going to let you guys shame me if you think I'm crazy. Do you think that Vecna is an analogy or a metaphor for the spider in The Hobbit? And I forget the name now because I wasn't
Shelob.
prepared.
Shelob.
Shelob. That like cocooning the victims to I mean, do you guys get that vibe? But it was interesting because it did look very spidery. Now, having spider webs in a horror movie is obviously nothing new. Yeah. Or do we
That-
think it's something else?
That brings up another question. Every time he takes on a victim, he's like, "You're gonna become part of me."
And
Yeah.
that's like what's that about? You
I
know?
don't know. That's the thing. I was going to ask you guys if you guys knew what he was talking about.
But
Well-
you remember when she got when 11 jacked him through that hole
Yeah.
and he was flying, and then all of a sudden you see him being struck by what appears to be lightning, but it's some type of plasma. I don't think it was just plasma. It's like he transformed with each successive hit of that
Yeah.
to then
Yeah.
become like a proto Vecta before he became what he is now.
I-
And it's
I-
like I really want to know what that's about. I hope
I
they don't
read
just
that. I
forget
read
to
that it
talk
was
about that.
apparently it's the mind flayer that transformed him into what we
Okay.
know as Vecna.
Okay.
So, I mean,
he's
if
Saruman to the Sauron.
He's
of
the
the Mind
5-star
Flayer.
general to the.
well, I
to
mean,
the
think
mind
about
flayer.
episode 2. The Mind Flayer enslaved the whole town, right? So if this is just another level of that, maybe Vecna take each of his victims are becoming a part of sort of a mini hive mind of him. You know, his minions. You know, I wonder if they're going to be able to do what he does and open more portals.
And that's
I
what I
mean,
was wondering.
yeah.
Is he taking energy from them, or is he creating like lieutenants? You know?
I
And I
would
want to
say
say
that.
sorry, I want to say to Squeaka, I'm sorry you don't have any bourbon, but I will drink some more for you. So sorry, Steve.
No, you're good. I mean, if the goal is to make one big portal, if you get what's better than one Vecna making one portal, 4 small Vecnas making 4 smaller portals, right? I mean, so I think there's something to that. And I think, I think they're just sort of, that's why they're on display. They're not really on display. They're there to become either something new or burst something new. Because, I mean, what in the first one, what they I mean, that's Will and Barb were both sort of displayed in a similar fashion, birthing what the slugs, right? Trying, so I mean, same sort of deal, different boss. So maybe different villain, maybe making different creatures, right? I mean, so I think there's more to it. I'm with you guys.
Oh, look at this. We got the Fed that shouldn't
You're
be
muted,
dropping that
Brian.
deep D&D lore.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Okay, so D&D Vecna as an entity was a lich and was created minimal backstory for 2 artifacts and Eldritch Wizardry, one of the first OD&D. What is OD&D?
Maybe you meant
Supplements.
AD&D.
AD&D. Okay. He had no background of any sort until later editions. Interesting.
Well,
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with them, and I knew what a lich was and a wraith, but I didn't know about a Vecna.
What makes a lich and a wraith different? I mean, they're both undead, right?
Well, I thought a lich was pretty much bound to a graveyard, and was still somewhat poreal, as opposed to the non-poreal version of a wraith, which is more of an apparition. Wow, I sound like a nerd. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
What I've heard, I'm sure you guys have heard do you think, how would you feel if they're leaning into this whole Cthulhu thing, that the Mind Flayer is like Cthulhu?
Well, we've seen that big ass monster, haven't we? The big ass monster that's always kind of been there. What if that comes out into the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
No. I like it.
What do you guys think is going on with the government? Because
there's that general, and I don't know if he's a general or that colonel dude that's against Owens, and so he sent those guys to
OD&D.
He sent those guys to kidnap 11, but 11 wasn't there, and they started a little shootout in the house. I don't know, but they tortured that one guy. The one guy that they opened the door that thought was a pizza.
Bad.
They shot him, and then they threw him in like a coffin or something.
That's what they used during the Vietnam War. It was called hotboxing, and they put the Viet Cong would put American soldiers into that box and leave it under the hot sun, and it would of course heat up. And no matter what American servicemen did, they would get second-degree burns all over their skin, and it was horrifying. And apparently the factions within the government in the show learned from that experience, and it's horrifying. It's basically being cooked alive.
That's what
So
that's what they were doing to that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Oh,
there were
yeah,
heat lamps. Those were
Yeah,
heat
they were
lamps
cooking
that
the
were
dude,
around
yeah.
him,
Oh, I had no
and he
idea.
was in this metal box. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
it's
thought
not
I
a,
thought it was a play. I thought it was just making him. I thought they
no.
were
He
just
wasn't
playing
getting a
with his.
tan. He was being slow roasted like a
Yeah.
rotisserie chicken.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
yeah, but
Not yeah,
yeah, not pleasant.
horrible.
But where I was going with that is, do we think, they were going under the guise of, well, we think that you're letting the Soviets or the communists into America. I think that's a cover story.
Yeah,
What
I
I'm
think
wondering is if maybe Vecna has an influence that's outside. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I can
something's
live with it if it's just the whole Cold War thing. Like, that would be fine because it was crazy back then. I was there. It was crazy. But if it's something else, I
Well,
would
I-
love if
That
it
would
was
be
something else.
that would be
Really.
very interesting because you know what I
It-
think is going to happen in episode 8. The next episode's called Papa. What I think is
Mhm.
going to happen is they're going to attack the silo
They have to.
where
Yeah.
11's being retrained. I mean, to me, what 11's going through, episode 5 through 7, she's basically being retrained by Master Brenner.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And it was. What do you think of the way he came back? Way Brenner came back. I was surprised they didn't show how he survived being tackled by the Demogorgon. Because that was the last time we saw him in season 1.
Maybe there's a reason why they're not showing it. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah.
What I thought is probably, to me, the weakest part of the storyline, and I didn't think there was a lot of it, was how long it took to get to the truth about 11 and what happened with who becomes Vecna. I wished it maybe went a little bit faster, but I understand they were trying to reach some pinnacle of something, and I get it. But to me, that was the part, was like, I've already figured this out. Could we just get to the reveal? But it didn't take me out of the show. It was just the only time I ever checked my watch was during some of those parts.
Yeah, it was a little bit, dragged a little bit, but I'm hoping the army stuff just, like, it seems. I don't know. I'm with you guys. It just seems a little bit too much. I mean, like, I just, maybe I'm just being naive, but to open, like, for the army guy to open the door to the FBI guy and just pop him off with a silencer to get to assassinate 3 kids that have nothing to do with 11 other than being related to him. It seems a little bit.
Interesting fact. Do you know who the head of the CIA was before becoming vice president to Ronald Reagan? George Bush Sr.
Yeah.
Also responsible for oversight of MK Ultra, the same program that's featured in the show. So, those things happen in the 80s? Absolutely. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
We also were engaged in something in the United States, and I won't turn this into an in-depth geopolitical discussion, but the United States was doing these little fire-up wars against the Soviet Union, and a lot of them were taking place in South and Central America. And there was a doctrine called low-intensity conflict, where the United States would give money to rebels and train them how to fight other proxies that were funded by the Soviet Union. And it happened all throughout South and Central America, which is why when you watch a movie like Red Dawn, they talk about the Nicaraguans and the Cubans and all these people from South America inviting, because all of them were being trained by the Soviet Union, So there was a lot of really horrifying things done by these CIA trained people in South America. So that's why I believe this storyline very much, because what they're doing, it falls exactly in line with the doctrine of what they were teaching.
Yeah.
And I think it was called the School of the Americas, these horrifying fascists in South and Central America during the 1980s. So class is over. Just want to give you a little bit of history for that. So.
Well, I don't know. So I do find it interesting when you drop these truth bombs on me. So I do. So no, hey, I'm being serious.
I was on the debate team, so I still remember this stuff like 30 something years later, because it was crazy what we were doing down there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to read. I have to read up further on this.
George Bush Sr.
George Bush Sr. Yeah. So yeah, I think what I think is going to happen is I think Brenner is going to get killed in the next episode, because the episode's called Papa. I think there's just they got the location. They tortured the guy enough to get the location, so they're going to attack. And I think 11 is going to probably. I don't know if 11's going to kill all of them, or she's going to escape or be spirited away. I think she's going to kill them all.
I wonder if Brenner isn't going to take the chance to stab the Paul Reiser character in the back, or if Brenner isn't actually working for the other faction of the government that's coming to get 11.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't consider that. That's
I don't know. It's
And
one of
maybe
those.
that's why he's been biding his time.
I
Because
think
Paul Reiser's character keeps saying this is taking too long, and Brenner doesn't seem in any real big hurry. Like he's almost
not.
waiting
No, he
for
doesn't.
something. And
Yeah.
Paul and Brenner's an asshole. He's not a nice guy. So I'm wondering
No.
if the two aren't interconnected.
It's possible. Yeah.
So you think Owens? You think Owens is going to die in the next episode?
Owen.
Dr. Paul Reiser.
I think probably. I think this. Yeah. I think I like the Brenner theory there that was
Yeah,
just
me
dropped.
too.
I think Brenner giving up the whole base to and taking 11 out with or without the army. He may just disappear without on both of them. I don't know. Use the distraction, but I like both those theories. But I think that Owens is too nice a guy to survive.
That's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. And they're going to have Reiser go out like a hero. That's what
Yeah.
I think.
I
Because
hope so.
everybody
Yeah.
loves Paul Reiser.
You heard it here first, everybody.
That's
Like
your
Bob.
salty theory of the week. However, I do want to call out Nosferatu the vampire, who said I was a master debater, and actually I did go to nationals for 2 years, but I didn't win because I drank too much, even
On
though
stage.
I was underage.
He did it on stage.
Even though I was underage, because that's what we did in the 80s, and it wasn't a big deal. Anyway, let's talk about this show. So yeah.
So I'm just.
You guys
curious.
act like that's some big deal. Now apparently it is, but it's like
On stage.
I am
don't know.
just no, dude.
So here's one thing that really got me. Pumped up for the rest of the season and maybe the rest of the series, because I think this is a foreshadowing the rest of the series. When Paul Reiser sits 11 down at the diner, and he says, "I smell a war coming." It made me think of Lord of the Rings a little bit, and it made me think that the stuff that's going on this season is going to carry over into the next season.
Do you think we're going to have a Council of Rivendell like moment where
I hope
they're going to sit down and, I mean, at some point, are the jocks going to get on board? I mean, I just see them as basically maybe being a metaphor for the orcs.
Yeah.
If we're going to keep with this whole Tolkien analogy thing, which maybe they will, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't think the orcs / jocks are ever going to get on board. I mean, he's already galvanizing the town against them. With the fear
with the
of
whole
Satan.
Satan's Hellfire Club. What do you
the Knights in Satan's Service on tour now,
also known as KISS.
Yes, but it's not nearly as scary if you don't say the Knights in Satan's Service. Yes.
The Godzillionaire says the jocks are the Nazgul.
Oh, I like it. We have to count the jocks. We'll see how many they are. We'll see how many they are.
Well, one of them bought the farm. He's in he's now in Vecna's service.
He's part of Vecna's. Well,
that was creepy. That was creepy,
especially in the water. They did it because that death happened while they were pursuing Eddie. Eddie was rowing his boat, and this wasn't. He wasn't. And this is not Star Trek V. He wasn't singing. He was actually rowing his boat, and they're swimming. That head jock dude, who was pretty short for a captain of a basketball team, but hey, what do I know? The little blonde jock dude and the victim, I forget his name. Lucas
Travis. I thought it was Travis.
Travis might be right. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
and he gets killed in the water, and then he starts floating, and he's like. And then he just drops in, and they think,
isn't
Eddie
that horrifying?
And Eddie witnessed this too, and he fell in the water. He's like, oh,
yeah.
The deaths are so bad. Oh,
it's so bad. I mean, it is more creepy than seeing spurting blood to watch literally every bone being bent the wrong direction. And it was especially horrifying with the first kill with the cheerleader with Chrissy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that poor kid that's with oh God, I just blanked on it. Nancy.
The
one who goes out with Nancy, and then the kid wanders off in the woods. And apparently he killed somebody in a car crash. That's what
Yeah.
I got from this.
He was driving. He felt. I think he was driving a car, got into an accident. People died as a result, and he feels guilty. And because of that, he's ripe for ripe for
Vecna
to attack him psychologically.
But what a way to die! Wandering lost
Oh,
in the
boy.
woods. You can tell this dude's a nerd. Like a true nerd. Like who doesn't know Boy Scouts, can't build a fire. The guy doesn't carry a pocket knife even, which
No.
that's, everybody carried a
But
pocket knife.
just like seeing all the snapping, like all the limbs just being snapped, and everyone, and like the eyes going, like it's just so creepy.
But out of all of them, that poor kid, like the super nerd kid who was on the newspaper, he died alone in the woods. Like he died alone on a like on a freeway where at least Chrissy wasn't alone, even though she was possessed. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in this take. And then of course you had Travis, at least that's what I'm calling him, dying, where at least oh shit, what is it, Eddie? That's there.
Eddie and the jock guys there.
The captain dude.
The captain sees him floating in the air. Yeah.
But what a lonely death, man! What a lonely death.
Thinks it's evil.
Yeah, well, in a grave too. Like he runs him into a grave and then corners him, and just like, I mean, just the sheer utter fear of just, terrifying.
Nosferatu, I know exactly what you're talking about. We called them dirts. They were the ones who worked on the cars. Then we were the nerds, and I floated between all three because I knew how to work on cars. I played sports, and I was also playing D&D. So I was what you could say, someone who helped people obtain things, and we'll just leave it at that. So it's a good place to be able to float between those three distinct social groups. Yeah.
But I can't wait to, once again, I just can't wait to see what unfolds in the last two episodes. And,
I can't wait.
And I hope they set up the next season. Well,
we've got new creatures each episode, like each season. So we got the flying bat things. I wonder. It makes me wonder what's next. I mean, we had the Demogorgons, and we had the Demodogs. Then what do we have in? Was the Demodogs 2 or 3?
2.
Two, where they attacked because they killed Sean Astin's character, the Radio Shack.
That's
and
right.
then season 3, it was just the Russians and the a remnant of the mind flayer.
That big ass thing that comes down in the middle of the mall. Yeah.
And then and of course there was the mind flayer monster that appeared in the hospital. It was like it was like something out of Ghostbusters or even The Thing. It was like just nothing. It's just a big shaggy creature.
What was it like? Do that again.
It was like the Blob. It was like
no. It was that. Okay, now I remember. It took me 3 times.
It was like the Blob. It was like the Blob in the hospital.
Yeah,
and it took the two co-workers of Nancy and Jonathan's, the guy with the glasses, the father of that one lifeguard, and that other dude, Gary Busey's son, the other one,
Gary Busey Jr. Gary Busey Jr.
Jake Busey. Yeah, Jake Busey.
That's the one. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Do you think the California crew, all of them, they're gonna take the new friend? I forget his name. The
stoner, super stoner Spicoli guy,
and Dustin's girlfriend. Or do you think they're going on the journey with him? You think they're coming along?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, they're in love. Well, what is it? The new stoner guy's in love with the Dustin's girlfriend's older sister.
That's right. Yeah. So you think she's coming too, or you think he's going to stay behind and going to steal his
It's crazy because, I mean, again, that reminded me of a girl, my girlfriend in high school was just like, it was like, oh, you guys are killing me. It's crazy. It's like, yeah. But
I think, I think they have to add demo fish, demo sharks or something. Raise the stakes.
Well, there's now a flyers. Water. Why not? Right?
Wait, if we're going to do it, let's have Sharknado. Upside down.
There you go.
Sharknado upside down.
Oh my god!
We're gonna do it. Go big or go home.
The laws of physics don't count. Demo bugs.
I am worried about Nancy. I think she's gonna get plugged in because I think he learned with Max. That he is not gonna let another one go.
No.
What I want to know is how many victims are there? Does he have? You know. Because what I really want to have happen is to them to do an homage to Aliens, like the second Aliens movie, like when the Marines go down, when they first get to the colony, and then they go down to the reactor, and then you see that one woman who's in the wall, like encased in the whatever the xenomorph extruded, and she says, "Kill me." I wonder
Yes.
if we're going to get a scene like that, because the same thing's going to happen with Nancy, or maybe if Nancy's going to say, kill me. I mean, they could go so many ways, and I hope they have the balls to do it. I
That
really
would
want them to
that
commit. I want them
would
to commit.
that would blow
I,
my mind if they
Well,
did.
I
do we
want them
think
to commit.
do we
Really.
think Vecna's been working on her like the others, or do we think he just pulled her in because he had the
I
opportunity?
think he
She
pulled no
felt
he
guilty. She felt
Oh
guilty
no.
for Barb for a long time.
Oh well, that's what I'm saying. Her guilt is really like very strong. So that's what I'm saying. Do you think she's been going through this 6-day cycle like the others, or do you think
no.
he just saw an
No,
opportunity
it's
and
just
said
This was an
yeah,
opportunity. He saw that they were
yeah.
he saw that
in
they
the
were in the
upside
upside
down
down, and that they were leaving, and so he caught her.
in his realm?
He caught her right at the moment she was about to leave.
Okay,
So
but like he was able to like I don't know his limitations. Why the 6 days? I don't. But like it's just like we're sort of thinking she's in the upside down. She's in his home.
so
I'm gonna grab you. Right? Is that what we're
so
thinking?
physically she's still in the upside down.
Right.
We thought she was climbing the rope, but that was all in her head.
Right.
So
Mhm.
she's in the upside down with Steve. So her and Steve are still in the upside down.
Mhm.
Robin and Eddie already got
Mhm.
out. So
Mhm.
now they have to do the same thing. What's Nancy's favorite music? And so I think Steve will be instrumental
Singing.
in saving her if he can.
Yeah.
So
What would Steve have to feel guilty about? This I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
And
Honestly,
I don't think
Steve.
he did anything. I don't. Well, no,
The
he was part of the reason that Barb died, theoretically.
Yeah,
But
but I don't know that he feels guilt. I mean, like the
yeah,
only things he sort of felt guilt for, he's sort of redeemed himself,
yeah, he already has.
or he's
yeah,
already dealt with it, right? So, I would think Steve's someone that Vecna's not going to be able to touch because I don't see much for him to be guilty about at all. Like
Yeah,
he's dealt with all of it. I think him
yeah,
being a dick, he's dealt with all that.
yeah,
Him
yeah.
treating what's his face like a piece of crap. He's dealt with that. I
Dustin.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
not Dustin, her boyfriend.
Oh Jesus.
What's her name? I keep forget.
Will's older brother.
Yeah, treating him
Who
like
Nancy's
garbage.
with?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, there
Thank
you go.
you.
Treating him like garbage. He's dealt with that. Him and
Yeah.
Dustin are tight. I don't know that he's got any guilt, so he may be untouchable. I mean, that could be a thing. I mean, Steve could be the one to take him down because he doesn't have any guilt over anything right now.
Well, Steve would almost be a reverse paladin if we're honest about it. And I want to call out Wumba Trumpa, who's team Sharknado. Thank you. And also, I believe it's Nosferatu the vampire. I believe it is. Who says Demodactyls? We could have Demodactyls, guys.
Demo T Rexes. Why not?
I'll take a demo dinosaur. Why not? Let's do
they
it.
said it. I mean, millions of
Yeah.
years old it could be, right?
Yeah.
Predate the
And
dinosaurs. There you go.
Stephen Ransom is trying to help with butt pirates and scufflaws. I mean, I guess you could have upside down butt pirates, but isn't that Hollywood in general? So, yeah. All I do is help. I'm just trying to help and engage with the chat, Brian. That's all I'm doing.
What do you think of the whole 11 and her bullying thing which was in the beginning of the season?
It was so accurate to 80s. I'm just going to say that. One of the again, being old and apparently everybody likes to make fun of me for it, but whatever. I got to see some really cool stuff. It was exactly like that. And when cruelty like that would occur, the teachers looked the other way. They did.
They let the kids deal with it.
Let the kids work it out, unless it really got physical. Then they would break it up. But their bullying built character. No one wants to go through it, but I went through it. And let me tell you what, I learned how to handle my business. And if you don't learn to handle your business, nothing else you ever do, whether it be changing your gender or anything else, will ever give you a sense of self or a sense of self-worth. And I think we're robbing our children of that now, but that's another discussion. But no, there was a crazy amount of cruelty in the 80s, especially among girls. And I think they perfectly captured it because I saw stuff like that when I was in high school.
Do you think they were trying to build a parallel between what happened to her current day and what was happening to her in the lab because everybody hated her in the lab as well?
Yeah,
I think so. I think it was absolutely. That's why she lost her shit and took that roller skate or that skate. Thank God it was in an ice skate and almost killed that
Yeah,
Good girl.
But I loved how like I was like okay, and then all of a sudden all this blood, and
yeah.
then she started crying,
Mhm.
and
That's when you
I
know
was
it's
just
a
like I was like
deep cut.
oh, I was like
That's when you know it is a deep cut. When you,
I
all of
felt
a sudden,
I'm like I didn't I'm like I felt I actually felt bad for I actually
Yeah,
felt
no,
bad
but
for the
that's
girl.
I got a hockey puck right here. Same thing happened.
yeah, I
You go
got a
right there.
fastball right here. I got
Yep,
20
hockey puck,
stitches.
and like I think I'm
Yeah.
okay. I think I'm all right. And then all of a sudden, it's
Oh,
like
that's what
I'm not
happens.
okay.
But
Yeah.
that's what happened to me
Yep.
too when I got that pop fly, and suddenly I couldn't see out of my eye because it
Yep.
was full of blood, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yep.
this
So that's
sucks.
exactly how it
Yeah,
goes down. But yeah,
yeah,
I thought it was a cool parallel that they made just because yeah, obviously she's being bullied and that's she's
And that
dealing
was
with that.
why
That's what she's dealing with.
number one befriends her, right?
Easy target.
Because of that.
Oh,
And what did you
wait.
I actually I'll say this. I was actually really impressed with Jamie Campbell Bower's performance.
He's creepy.
Him as Paul Ballard. He didn't blink once, and the way
Yeah,
he looked like he's tall and gangly. He looked, and I was like that. I'm like, is that Vec? I kept asking him, like, is that Vecna?
He's
And
creepy.
then the end of the season, it was him. I was like, holy crap! Like just the
yeah,
way he looked and stuff.
yeah.
Like I was like, dude, like this guy's not blinking. He's bad.
Yeah.
Your
How is he
your
bad?
your chat is absolutely incredible tonight. Everybody who's here, Godzillionaire says there was a very Carrie vibe to the 11 getting bullied storyline.
Yeah.
I would agree
At least
entirely
at
with
least they didn't
that.
dump blood. At least she didn't get blood dumped on her. And they
Yes.
say
Yeah.
plug it up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
They redid Carrie, didn't they?
Yeah.
They made they wanted to make a mini series, so they made a TV pilot
Oh,
movie.
what a good idea. What a good idea.
So she survives. So she actually survives the ordeal. And
I
then they
hope
made,
it was diverse and representational and featured intersectional feminism
Why?
and
What?
neo-Marxism because that's
What?
all that matters now.
well
I hope so.
Why?
in that version, because I was in high school when that one came out. I watched it because I saw the original. My dad owned the original the Brian De Palma movie on VHS. I saw it when I was in grade school. But watching that, I was like, not only did she survive, but she was helped and she was helped to get a new identity and get away
Wow.
by
I hope she
Sue.
started a
Sue,
women I hope
the
she started
character.
a women's center somewhere at Smith College and went on to become a professor of gender
Probably.
studies to
Well,
talk
I
about the
think
patriarchy
the
too.
Adventures of Carrie, where she goes and kills bullies. I guess I don't know. Goes to different towns and kills bullies, kind of like kung
Wow.
fu, but with
She's an
Wow.
avenging
telekinesis.
Do you guys know that that is absolutely gender studies doctorate bean flicking material? You guys know that. I mean, that
Oh,
is the
yeah.
fetishization of all of this delusion.
Oh
And
my god.
OBG70 wants us all to know that he stubbed his toe once. So he was comparing. We're all sitting here like, remember in Jaws when they're on the orca at night
Yeah, we
comparing
got some scars.
scars?
We could
We
you want
just
to
did
match
that. We just
scars?
all did that.
I got a
So
few
yeah,
scars. You
yeah.
could show us your big toe. Hopefully, it's not too
What
bad
do
still.
wait, you're into feet? That's gross. Steve.
Big
Jesus.
toes. I said big toes,
Okay,
not
that's
feet, man.
even worse. Stop.
Don't put
That's
words in
even
my
worse.
mouth, sir. All
I'm
right.
not. I'm not judging your lifestyle. I'm just saying it's weird, man.
Yeah. Well,
So
nobody said I was normal. So
so Godzillionaire says Carrie changed her name to Ray and moved to a galaxy far, far away.
Uh,
Oh no.
Skywalker. And yes, Nosferatu the vampire, you were lighting it up tonight. Remember the movie Orca? True story. I was a little kid. My parents took me to see that movie, and I was terrified because one thing you don't do is take a 6-year-old child to a rated R movie where a big whale is biting off pregnant ladies' legs.
chicks.
Pregnant lady. Yeah, I did almost said chicks with dicks. Pregnant ladies' legs. So
Wasn't
and I
that
know I can.
basically it was just a knockoff. It was a Jaws clone. It was a knockoff of
It
Jaws,
was,
right?
and it was an orca, and orcas would never do that. And having lived in the Pacific Northwest and seen a lot of orcas, they wouldn't do that. Now, if you're a seal, they're straight up gangster. I mean, they're like MS-13 of the ocean out there on seals. But yeah, they wouldn't do that to people. So, but yeah, I did see that movie. No, Mike, we don't want to see your feet.
But yeah, they remade Carrie 2013. I saw that one. Yeah. And then they made a sequel to the original Carrie back in I think in the early 2000s when I was in high school. It was called The Rage. It was called The Rage Carrie 2, and they brought back like Amy Irving to play Sue Snell, who was the survivor, the girl who gave up her prom day for Carrie in the original. I actually read the original book. The original book is crazy. I mean, I think the movie's slightly better, but the book, like, she
Yeah.
doesn't just destroy the school; she destroys the
Yeah.
entire town.
Yes.
She
Yes.
she manipulates like all the gas stations to blow up, and it takes out all the buildings. So, but it was but yeah, I read I was on like a Stephen King binge. I was reading a whole bunch of Stephen King stuff,
Hmm.
books, not tweets. If you
I
read
get
his
it.
Yeah, stay
I
away from
know.
the tweets.
I
Absolutely.
know. And stay away from anything Ian McGregor posts on social media unless you want to really become depressed. You know?
Ian McGregor. Oh, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, that one too.
Okay.
Ewan. I'm
For a
not
second, I thought you were
Scottish though.
saying Ian McKellen. I'm like, Ian McKellen's beloved.
No,
Yeah.
dude.
No.
No.
Ian McKellen's
Ewan
awesome.
McGregor's, yeah, he's got a few screws loose too.
You should
but-
lock him and Mark Ruffalo and who's that crazy bitch from Charm that keeps spouting off because she's getting old.
Alyssa Milano.
Melissa
Yeah,
Milano,
they should lock them in a room, throw a knife in the middle, and then see who comes out alive. And whoever does, they can post on social media. But we can't have all three of them because
Well,
all
it'll be
retards,
Alyssa Milano. She'll screw them over.
Well, she knits those face masks like a pro, so I'm sure she could knit a whole suit of armor and just be just fine.
knitting face mask. What a genius!
So
Wow.
it's time. So any final thoughts before we close?
I love this show so far. I'm looking forward to probably sitting down and watching all 4 hours in one sitting. The last little bit. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I like it that way. There's so many directions they could go on every storyline that it's great to not know exactly what's going to happen. So
what are your predictions for the next 2 episodes?
Next 2 episodes. Well, I think Salty's right. I think we're going to lose somebody. I think we're going to be on a downer. I think it's the only way to really go into the next season. I think 11's gonna lose. So I'm not sure how, but 11's sort of gonna be. I'm not sure. The more and more we're talking about it, the more and more Mike dying might be what screws 11 up, and sort of or being Mike being taken in some aspect. Will screw her up.
So
But
do you think
they have unfinished business, so I don't know if they're going to do that. I think that what's his name is going to. I think he's just out. God, I keep forgetting his name. Will's brother,
Jonathan.
I think Jonathan's ripe for because he's just not serving a purpose.
Nosferatu, why did you have to bring up Faces of Death?
Oh,
I gotta tell
man.
you guys. You guys want to look something up? Look it up on Google. This was considered to be an urban legend in the 80s, but it was a VHS tape with I think 3 hours of actual footage of actual deaths.
Not good.
And,
Not good.
Not good. Not good. I remember going to a party back in the day, and they had this thing on, and I walked into the room, and then I walked out of the room because it was just.
No. If it's worse, I'm not.
It's just not good for the soul. But it was a thing. It was a real thing.
Yeah, if Traces is worse than Faces, Nosferatu, no thanks. I am good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Faces was bad
enough. Yeah, so if Traces is worse, no thanks.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But thanks for the deep cut, though. There was a lot of crazy stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
There really was.
Yeah. So, but I think I think we're going to see some mini Vecnas, and I think Hopper's going to make a mistake and let the mind flare out on Earth, and we're going to have some, we're eventually. I think that's probably going to how they're going to get back. They're going to open a portal by mistake, and go through the Upside Down, and maybe run into Nancy and crew in there trying to figure out how to free her, or something. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of Upside Down in these last 2 episodes. I hope.
Your chat is crazy. Can I just say that? We got the Faces of Death and Traces of Death conversation has been ongoing. And Stephen Ransom hailed you. You're an animal. He says he'd go to clubs that would play it on the big screen while we dance.
Oh,
the 80s rock.
God.
Yes, but the clubs that I went to, they would show they showed a lot of other things, but they didn't show Faces of Death. And I worked in a dance club while I was in college, and it was a house club, back house music, But yeah, we never showed Faces of Death. It's interesting. Anyway, let me tell you what I think of what's going to happen in part 2 of the show. I think we're either going to lose Nancy or I think we're going to lose Will, and I think Will may be seduced by the power of this thing, and much like Boromir, make a heroic sacrifice to save his friends and let them get away. But like I said, I think we're going to end up in a place where we don't know who lived and who died, and maybe it'll carry over into season 5. That's what I'm thinking. The other thing I'm thinking is, you remember that annoying character when 11 went on her, as Zax likes to call it, her emo road trip and met up with that other, I think it was 7, the one in the van
6
who
or
was robbing
7.
banks.
8.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
8. I
Was it
think
8?
8's
I
gonna.
don't remember. I don't remember.
I think 8's gonna come back, and I think 8 will have been caught by the bad faction of the government and be working for them. And I think what's going to happen is 11 is going to be in the perfect position to stop the big bad Vecna and get hit from behind by 8, and that's gonna blow everything up with unintended consequences.
Oh, wow.
That's what I hope happens. I would love to see something that complex, well done, because if I can write this, they can write this.
Well, that's
you know what I mean?
a great idea because you're just connecting everything. So
Yeah.
well done,
Yeah.
sir. I like that just because it gets the government.
It
aspect
draws
in there too.
everything together, and then 8 and 11 are fighting, and Vecta does some really horrifying things. That's what I think might happen.
Yeah.
I hope that's what happens.
Could
And
be.
then season 5 is picking up the pieces.
Could be
Just
direct.
like
Could-
Empire Strikes Back ending.
Yeah.
That's
Could
what
be
I
a
want.
direct
That's what I
cause
want
of.
too.
Could be that fight. Could be a direct cause of losing Will, and then that would destroy 11 right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good.
So do you think
Mike
Will and
losing
do you-
Mike? Yeah, losing Mike.
Mike, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
Mike,
it's okay.
yeah, Mike.
I'm losing track of them too. But yeah.
So do you think they're going to get Will and Mike and Jonathan, and they're going to get caught because they're going to 11 too. So they're on their way to 11, and of course the military is on their way to 11 in the silo too. So do you think they're going to get caught up in this battle that's going to happen at the silo? I know there's a big battle.
I'm not entirely sure what they could do. Do you know what I mean? If they wanted to hose the whole season up, they would have an impossible MacGuffin mystery box bullshit moment where suddenly Will or Mike or somebody could do all these things. I don't know. I really don't know. I think they may end up in the same place with 11 and what's going on in the Upside Down because they get caught by the military, but I don't see them being able to stop, that force that's coming. But I'm looking forward to it. I even if my theories aren't right, I still think we're going to have a great show. And it's wonderful to talk about this stuff with you guys. It's really refreshing to be excited about something. And I legitimately am excited about this. I can't wait to see part 2.
It's a great feeling. I totally agree.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So I for a while, even I've felt I've swallowed the black pill on certain things, but it's fading away. The whole black pill thing is fading away from me.
We're winning this war. We are winning this war. Guess what? We were always in the majority. I'm talking 95 to 98%. The bullshit we have been told for the last 5-10 years is exactly that. It's bullshit.
Yep.
If you guys watch FNT tonight, what Alex Jones said, what Salty said, Salty Cracker, not Salty Texas C, I firmly believe that. This is not this construct and this lie, this illusion, this woke bullshit. It's not real. Nobody wants it. There are 2 genders. That's it. That's all we want. So we're winning, but it's not over yet. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Yep. Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah. That's how I feel about what the season's gonna get worse before it gets better. So I think I'm hoping it's gonna end. I hope it connects, like you said. I hope everything connects together, everything's brought together, and there's gonna be I'm expecting a holy crap moment. Someone's gonna die. I don't know who's gonna die, but somebody's gonna die. And there's going to be a big defeat for a lot. I think there will be a defeat for 11, but she's going to regain her abilities at the same time. So there's going to be some hope there. But I think they're going to be prepping for I think next season's going to be all out war. Oh wow. My gosh.
Godzillionaire.
Outstanding. Godzillionaire sent me a super chat for $5. He says, "Remember the days when nerds would argue for hours over stuff like this? Feels good again. Well, Godzillionaire, I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you had that to take away from this stream.
Man,
That's
I'm
awesome.
giving
That's all we
myself
wanted to
that.
do, and I haven't had
I,
a chance to do this because I
I,
haven't cared about any of this bullshit since
I
like
would
the
just,
Expanse.
I dream about the Wheel of Time theory wars me and Salty could have had back in the day if we were
Oh yeah,
acquainted during the books. I mean,
yeah,
that's the fun part of these things is
yeah.
exactly that speculation theory, arguing who's right and then seeing who's right, and when none of you are right, going, "Oh my god, can you believe that's what happened?"
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
like
what
no,
we
like
used to do. This is what true nerds do. And
It's the
true
best.
nerds doesn't mean you have to know every square inch of lore. It just means that you actually really do care about this and
Yep.
you're not just on social media repeating the latest download. Because you can tell a real fan.
Yep.
And a
I
real
think
fan just repeats the download.
I
You
think
know?
and I think nerds are the most. I mean, when it comes to nerds, I think nerds are the most welcoming, most inclusive,
Oh yeah.
group of people there is.
Yeah.
So
We overwhelm and scare people with what we love. They back out of the room like we're crazy. And they're right
yeah,
to a certain degree, but we're mostly harmless. Just
yeah,
like Douglas Adams said.
yeah. And I mean, like Star Trek. I mean, just like the old Trek back in the day. Everybody who watched Star Trek loved it. It was something that fans would talk about for theories, and that people would talk about, like who they would talk about everything, the ships, the aliens, the
Oh
characters,
yeah. Yeah.
other character interactions. And there was so much to talk about, and that's what brought people together. So this whole thing that they're doing, that the Paramount Plus or Kurtz or
Yeah.
Secret Hideout, and what and now Disney Lucasfilm is doing, is just dividing people by taking simple ideas, or be disregarding ideas that were already established, and these are not really super duper, like lore bound ideas. These are like just like the Obi-Wan thing. Everybody knows the Vader line, when I left you I was but the learner, now I am the master.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. This is not like a really, it's not hard to try to fit with that.
And Stephen Ransom nails it. In the Our Gang original serials that went back to 1939, fans had an argument over who was better, Tarzan or Superman. Of course, at that time, it would have either been the talkies or it would have been the radio shows. And there have always been nerds, there have always been fans. And who was more entertaining, Tarzan or Superman? An entirely legitimate nerd discussion.
Yeah.
You know? We used to
Exactly.
have arguments over what was better, Star Trek or Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember the older guys who liked Star Trek used to look down on us who liked Star Wars because they had much deeper lore
Yeah.
with Star
Yeah.
Trek. And Star Wars was like this like disposable thing to them.
Yep.
And it was like we used to have these arguments long before these morons were born today who don't even love any of this, and they just want to throw commie talk at us all day.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. There's no more Star Trek versus Star Wars stuff at all. It's all just yeah.
Now it's Orville versus New Trek, and
Right,
everybody
yeah.
loves the
And
Orville.
Star Trek's just on like Star Wars is doing whatever.
Everybody loves the Orville. I mean,
I
well,
still haven't seen it.
everybody that talks about the Orville loves it, whether you're
Yeah.
on one political side or another, whether you like New Trek or you don't. Everybody
still
loves the
haven't seen
Orville
it.
because that's what.
It's good. It's good.
I've never seen one episode of the Orville.
None of it? Oh, you got some seasons you can catch up on. It's pretty good.
It's just like Star Trek. It's just like
It's very
Star Trek.
interesting how it
Yeah,
changed
didn't
from part.
look like that in the beginning. It looked
Well,
like
it-
those first couple episodes, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys got to get me in early. And I'm
It's
like,
very-
everybody tells me to love it. Maybe I'll watch it if you guys.
This
It
new
changes.
season,
It changes.
this first episode dealt with a very serious issue.
It's very interesting that Orville goes from hard comedy, Seth MacFarlane type comedy, like just weird stuff, to, and there's still some of that, especially season 1, to it shifts to
Who the
trying
hell
to
has
be
a
Star Trek.
premiere?
So
Who the hell has a premiere at 10:15 at night? Zax, what are you doing? Dude, hit me on Twitter if you have a premiere. I'll try and help you out. But this was awesome, you guys. I could talk about this all day long, and I can't wait to do this again when we get the next 2 episodes, we should do a review after each one of the episodes. Like take our time and like make sweet love with episode 8 and 9, you guys, because those are
Okay.
going to be
That's
big
actually a
old
good idea.
big old chunks of sweet Sweet love.
So you're saying watch the one and then wait. So you and then do a review and then go into episode
Yeah.
the last movie episode, movie length.
Yes, I think what we should do is
I'm
we
down
should
for
watch
that.
one
Sure.
episode, then maybe do a recorded video where we talk about what we saw, what we think, and what our theories are.
Okay.
And then go watch the last episode and see how they lined up. I think we should also you should clip some of our our predictions from here, Brian, and we should compare them with what we actually got, because I think that would be really cool to see. So
I do too. Since I've been wrong about everything since we started talking about this.
no, you haven't. You've been
I
all
have
over
to.
it,
I have to
dude.
clip. I have to clip.
That's okay. I don't mind.
I was wrong about 11. I said
Yeah.
it wasn't 11. I
it's
thought it
fun.
was a boy, and I
yeah.
was wrong. You know,
It's no, I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just fun. That's the nature of this. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
I knew it. I knew Zach's is following through on a marketing strategy that we talked about. Good call, brother. Good call.
That reminds me. I have to clip our Better Call Saul predictions
Zach.
too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a great stream. Thank you guys for
This is fun.
thank you guys for coming on the panel. Salty,
Yeah.
Steve,
You're
and
welcome.
And Gray,
Totally.
I know you're in the chat. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank everybody that showed up today. Stephen Ransom, some wild guy named Zax, who's apparently jacked, apparently. OBG70.
Good old Mike.
Punk
Good old Mike.
Waddle.
Hail,
Godzillionaire,
Punk
thank you again for the super chat.
Thank you, Stephen Ransom. Thank you, Nosferatu the Vampire, for your crazy comments. Same thing with Low Spec Linux. Of course, that shouldn't be. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, that shouldn't be is pretty much he's
encyclopedia of everything.
He's the encyclopedia of everything.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I have to do another return. I have to do my return. I haven't done the Return of the King stream yet for Lord of the Rings.
You haven't.
So I have to plan that. I have to figure out what I want to do, when I want to do it. So I'm kind of tired. So I'm only going to be doing the Orville next week, taking a break from streaming. I need to get done with my videos.
Don't watch any more Kurtzman Trek, dude. Just
I'm done with that.
Let it go.
I'm done with that.
Let that shit go, dude. Just it ain't Star Trek, dude. You know?
Yeah, I watched the last episode, but it was called Spock and Mock, and it was supposed to be a wacky bottle episode. And it was it just felt like I was watching more soap. It felt very soapy.
Wow. That is such complete and utter dog excrement.
Because they did it better in the Orville with the episode Jaloja from season 2, where they were talking about relationships, and I like these characters in the Orville more than I like the characters in Strange New Worlds.
That's because you're a bigot. It's because you're a bigot and a racist.
Yeah.
That's what they say. I don't think that. That's what they say.
So
right,
we all are.
Let's get out of
right?
here. I'm the bigot president. Apparently.
Well, hey, if you guys want to do the thing with the 8 and 9, I'm in. So just let me know, because that'll be fun.
Same here. So
good night, Mike.
All right. So everybody, once again, have a good night, and may the wings of Nerdporials carry you to the next volume of Stranger Things season 4. Other than that, have a good night and have a good weekend.
Night.
Bye.